Testing, 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 testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing, testing. All right. Wow, no one knows where this thing is. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Oh, let's see. But it's not, of course, it's not working. Yeah. What's going on, gamers? It's your boy, Bingo Buddy. Back at it again, playing some motherfucking bingo, alright? Now, this is interactive as hell. Alright, this is interactive as hell. I need you guys to get your little bingo boards, because we're playing a very special Elon Trump bingo, right? Very soon. Very soon, as soon as the shit works. Alrighty. So let me see. Get your bingo cards. We have a lot of fun spaces. I'll try to give subs to people who win Bubba Bingo. Alrighty. I'm trying to get into the spaces, and we are so very back. I agree. Yeah, it's bingo time. My bingo babies. I hope you're ready. I hope you're fucking ready. It's gonna be fun. No one knows what this is gonna be like. I am currently trying to get started here. Yeah, apparently it's not working. The spaces isn't working, which actually would be amazing. That would be, I would mark heavy cringe if this doesn't work. Alrighty, so but yeah. Get your bingo cards out by typing !bingo. All right, only here, only on Jack's Films Twitch can you get your bingo cards. It's interactive, baby. Get your bingo cards right now. Just type in !bingo and click the link, or just click the link that is pinned. It should be pinned in the chat, I believe. So go ahead and click that beautiful link. That's either pinned in chat, or just get it yourself by typing !bingo. I am refreshing heavily here. Trying to get all up in this conversation that should start in about a minute or so, if it's on time. Uh-oh, Donald Trump may have left the conversation. Hold on, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at in just a second. I saw Ludwig's playing too. That's fucking awesome that Ludwig's playing with our bingo card. I'm actually super happy about that. That actually makes me very happy. Ludwig, I hope you guys have fun tonight, as we certainly plan on doing. All right, what happens if I refresh? Sorry, I know you will see what I see very soon. Alrighty. Yeah, let me just let's see. So this is what I'm looking at so far. It's really interesting, right? But like, this is what I'm looking at. I'm trying to like, here, let's resize so it can be like, beep, 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 beep. Oh, wrong one. No, I want the stream to be, yep, there we go. Yeah. So we'll do it like that. I think that'll be real nice. But I'm trying to like get in the spaces. It's very much not working. Because of fucking course it's not. Like, obviously it's not working. So go ahead and mark your free space, and go ahead and mark well, I don't know. No. Get that Minecraft out of here. As fun as it is, get that Minecraft out of here. We need to see the bingo card at all times. I appreciate the thought though. That's funny. Has the conversation started yet, by the way? We do need a space for technical difficulties. For once, it's not my fault. I'm kind of shocked that the technical difficulties are not my, they're not on my end. That's kind of, yeah, spaces. Yeah, look at this. This is what, okay. This is what I see right here. It says, details not available, right? So the space, like this, the interview betwixt Elon and Trump is currently not happening. Technical difficulties. Yeah, go ahead and mark heavy cringe. Technical difficulties are heavy cringe for such an anticipated event. By the way, feel free. Take a look at your bingo card. Everyone has a different bingo card. And by the way, your card will have spaces that mine doesn't and vice versa. We have more spaces than are pictured above, okay? There are more spaces. Oh, here we go. Is this it? No? Man. But yeah, I am just waiting for bingo to get started here. Go ahead and mark heavy cringe and the free spot in the middle. If you have heavy, there's a chance you may not have heavy cringe on your bingo card. Fret not. That's just that's how we play bingo, baby. Bingo is back. Alrighty. If you see ads, get good. No, I'm just kidding. If you see ads, they will disappear in a few minutes because we'll have an hour of ad-free entertainment, as this should prove to be quite entertaining. Take a look at the bingo card. Take a look at your bingo card. You may have some spaces such as Elon wears MAGA hat or merch. Woke is mentioned. That also includes woke mind virus. If that is mentioned, mark woke on your bingo cards. That would be very funny and cringe. Also, we have two different cringe slots. We have general cringe, which is just like average mid cringe. Then we have heavy cringe, which I'm going to go ahead and mark already, since it's not quite working, at least on Trump's page. Yeah, this is oh man, it's broken. I'm checking the space. I'm checking the space hard. Okay, Elon. Okay, let's try this. Let's try. All right. Boop. So this is what it looks like. There's like gray over it. So like here's what I'm looking at, right? I click it and you'll notice like the whole page is like gray. That's because it's trying to load into the spaces, whatever the fuck this is called, the conversation, and it's just not happening. It's not working. You'll see like, you know, Trump's trying, and this is super cool. Twitter really wants me to follow Andrew Tate, which fucking sucks. So it's not letting anyone in. It's broken. Yeah. Great website, Elon. Absolutely. Absolutely. Give it up. Give it up, baby. Give it up. Do I have soundboards? I don't. Okay. That's fine. We don't need them. But yeah, give it up. Give it up, everyone. Give it up. Heavy. I forgot. Our main man, Kayoya, is going to mark all the spaces we call out. Look in the top right corner of this screen. You'll see heavy cringe should be marked under Trump Elon or Trumplon spaces. Okay. In green, we're going to call out we're going to have a list of all the bingo spaces I've called out so far. And don't forget to mark that free space. All right. I'm going to do my best to give subs to people who win. Okay. I'm going to do my best to gift subs to people who win. But right now, it's impossible for anyone to win. We've only marked one space, not including the free spot. Now, let's refresh. Let's talk about some of the other spots on our bingo card, all right? On the bingo cards. And again, your card's going to look different from mine. I'm going to call out some spaces that you may not have on your card, because your card will have some spaces that, because I'm playing along too. I want to fucking win bingo. Hannibal Lecter, very excited for Trump to make really cool Hannibal Lecter jokes. Trump doesn't answer the question. That's pretty self-explanatory. Elon sucks up to Trump. How can I show my loyalty? Oh my god, dry itchy scalp is in the chat. Let's fucking go, baby. I know, baby. I know it's technical issues for once not on my end. Yeah, I'm doing everything right. It's Elon who should be booed and will be booed very loudly. Oh my god, Twitter is such a mess. I can't even like, wow, it's a mess out here. What else? What other spots do we have? Cybertruck mentioned. That's an obvious one. If rigged or stolen or cheat is mentioned at all, obviously. Oh wow. Okay, so I'm on. Oh god, wrong button. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at right now on Elon's page. It looks great. There's no more like, this would usually be highlighted with a little circle, and it's not anymore. It is not. It is currently, the conversation is currently not working, which is very funny. That's why we already marked heavy cringe. Up, 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 up. Now it's lit. All right, here we go. Watch what happens when I click it. Nothing. Womp womp. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. So great site, Elon. Very cool. All right. Well, we'll let him. It's all right. There's a lot of hype around here. There's a lot, there's a lot at stake. So we'll give him a bit more time, I suppose. What else? Free speech mentioned. This would be amazing if Trump calls it Twitter and not X. That would be fucking amazing. Woke. This should be the free space, but I want to give it to you. If woke is mentioned at all, that also includes woke mind virus. If illegal immigration is brought up, let's see. If Kamala is mispronounced, if Trump says Kamala or Kamela or Kambala or Kamabla, mark it. All right. Weird behavior, that's pretty self-explanatory too. It's very similar to general cringe or heavy cringe, but just if they do something weird or say something that's just weird, you're gonna want to mark that spot. Thank you. Let's see. Straight up lies. We should have a fact checker scrolling. Oh shit! Here we go. Everyone, shut up. Here we go. I'm gonna listen anonymously and start listening anonymously. Oh my god! Here we go. I'm trying to listen. I just want to play bingo. I just want to play a good game of bingo. That's all. Since you're already in a space. Okay, so apparently I'm already in the space. This sounds great. What the fuck? All right, let's wow, let's refresh. Okay. What the flying fuck? I just want to play a riveting game of Elon Trump bingo. Is that so hard to ask for? Apparently. Come on, let me in. Let me in. Perfect website, says someone in the chat. Someone said, Jack, you have to consider that live broadcasting audio has never been done before. That's true. That's true. So Elon is working on something revolutionary. So we should give him some grace. Cut him some slack. All right. Jewel says they hope they kiss. Get in line, That's what I say. Maybe Elon shouldn't have fired all those people. What? Aaron, that's a hot take. Come on. Elon was very justified in hiring whatever percentage of his team. Clearly, right? Because it's going so well. It's going so well. Let's refresh a fucking again. This is such a cool Twitter space. It sounds great. This conversation it's breaking new ground. Yeah, I want to start listening, for fuck's sake. Listen, no, fuck the anonymous. I'm Jack Film, and I'm proud. Let's go. All right, everyone quiet. We're going to listen. Is this music through Stream High? Wait. Kaioya, is this your hold music or is this the Elon hold music? This is the Elon hold music? I genuinely couldn't tell. I genuinely couldn't tell. Well, it sounds amazing. Money well spent, Mr. Musk. What the fuck is happening? Okay. Does this count as cringe? Well, it does, but we already have heavy cringe marked. I'm really mad at myself. I'm kicking myself for not including technical troubles on here. Some kind of technical difficulties on our bingo card. So that's on me. But we're in. All right. So I thought this was going to be a visual thing. Not a fucking Twitter space. That's even sadder. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes Twitter spaces. But I can't wait for Elon to try a very funny joke. That's going to be definitely not cringe at all. Christ almighty. When were they supposed to start? They were supposed to start 12 minutes ago now. 12 minutes ago. But that's fine. That's fine. It can go a little late. It can start a little late, I should say. Nobody wants audio of him and Trump talking over each other. What are you talking about? Honey, what are you talking about? That sounds like gold. That sounds like liquid gold in my ears. Just two of the most brilliant minds in the world interrupting each other and kissing each other's asses. That sounds like entertainment. Sign me up. I'd pay for that. And you know what? The fact that Elon is giving this to us for free, he's truly the Willy Wonka of the internet. Wow, you know what, honey? You're just a hater. I want to mark general, no, don't mark general cringe. Wow, oh, there's percussion in this fucking hold music. Are you kidding me? It's epic sauce. If you want to play bingo with us, all you got to do is get the bingo card that's linked and pinned in the Twitch chat, or if you forget to do that, just type at any moment in the Twitch chat, type !bingo. It really is phone level quality audio here. I can't wait for Trump to sound like a Zoom caller from like a mile away where he's like, hello, everybody. I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait. Kamala, you know, she used AI. Her crowds are not bigger than mine. That's another spot in her bingo card, by the way. Crowd size. If crowd size is mentioned at all, mark it. I don't know if I have it on my card. Crowd size mentioned. I don't. But you might have crowd size mentioned on your bingo card. Okay? So make sure you get your bingo card because we're playing Elon Trump bingo. And this is the only time we're ever going to play Elon Trump bingo. I'm only doing this today because it's just, well, it's such a momentous occasion. This fucking sucks. Imagine you buy Twitter for billions and billions of dollars. And this is the hold music? This is what you buy? $44 billion. And it sounds like a child mashing keys on an electric keyboard. This is like the equivalent of like, look, mom, look at this. And you go, wow, honey, that's beautiful. Mom, look, I'm making music. Mom, look. Mom, look. Wow, that's great, honey. Not working is trending? Shut up. Oh, the word, no, better. The word unable is trending. The word unable is #2 trending right now. That fucking rocks. That fucking rocks. Unavailable is #6. I just like that the word unable is trending. Oh, that. Nobody wants to work anymore. Oh, we did it, Joe. Do I have that button? Wait, where's my Kambala button? So I can play all those sweet Kambala sound bites.
We did it, Joe.
That's for you, Elon. And that's for you. And this is for Trump.
Well, folks.
This fucking rocks. Oh, man. I fucking lose it when the percussion kicks in. It makes you think progress is being made. No progress is being made. Elon was like, what can $44 billion possibly buy me? And they were like, the best hold music in the world, sir. And he was like, deal. Can we give a shout out to Subway Surfers? Let's see. I'm very excited for any nicknames. Like Laughing Kambala. Or Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe, he dropped out so quick. He dropped like a rock. I'm really sad that this is basically rendered moot now. Elon wears MAGA hat or merch because we can't see anything. Unless Elon says, actually, I just want you to know, sir, Mr. President, I'm wearing a MAGA hat right now. That would be great. That would be great. I don't know why my my Elon Musk sounds like a bad Hugh Grant impression, but it kind of does. I just go Hugh Grant and go low. That's my Elon Musk impersonation. It's a lower pitched Hugh Grant. Elon strikes me as more of an yeah, RFK Jr. guy. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get those vibes too. There's a lot of division amongst the MAGA crowd. Everyone, like Joe Rogan just tweeted something like, you know, I'm kind of for a RFK Jr. And all the MAGA people were like, oh, no, not you. They're like, lost another one. So I say, you know what? Let them fight. Let them fight. Let all the public figureheads that are saying like, actually RFK Jr., let them fight. Because I kind of love that kind of division. Excuse me. I can't wait. When the percussion comes in again. Heaven. Euphoric. We want ReactBot? I don't know if I have ReactBot. Of course I have ReactBot. Hold on. Maybe you know what? It might be harder to link. Give us some storytelling and tell us about RFK's brainworms. But honey, everyone already knows about RFK Jr.'s brainworms. It's just funny that it's real. It sounds like a lazy onion joke, but the fact that he had literal brainworms removed from his brain, you can't, like, that's why it's so hard to do parody these days, for me at least. Oh, nice. Okay, your bingo cards may have just changed. I just noticed it changed. So now we have Elon says he's wearing merch. That would be great. Actually, Mr. President, I'm currently wearing a MAGA underwear. You're so good at Subway Surfers. Thank you. I know, like, I'm barely even trying, but, you know, I just kind of zen out and get a bunch of combos. Fine, I'll put ReactBot on. I just have to copy and paste some bullshit. Hold on. Well, it's gonna be annoyingly hard to get ReactBot on here. Oh no. Elon, okay, hold on. Elon just tweeted something, allegedly. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. What does it say? What does it say? Oh no. Oh, buddy. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. There appears to be a massive DDoS attack on X, working on shutting it down. Worst case, we'll proceed with a smaller number of live listeners and post the conversation later. Fucking boo! Where's my boo button? And I love this. Is awesome. Fucking historic viz is like, this is nuts. Yet another attack on free speech. And free speech is 1000% on our bingo cards, but don't mark it yet because that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It's very funny, but it doesn't count. Okay, so damn it. People are attacking my favorite billionaire and my favorite president just you hate to see it. It's definitely not because the site's not working as planned, but definitely a DDoS attack. That's the only explanation. That's the only explanation. The woke mob. Yeah, this is the woke mob's fault. This is so fucking underwhelming. Hold on. This is extremely underwhelming. Elon, do better. So wait, let me digest this a bit. Working on shutting it down. Okay, let's just hold on. Let's let me just quote retweet this real quick and say, Mr. President, this is awful news. How will bingo proceed? And send. Hi, React bot. React bot, say something witty. This is weird. How'd you even get React bot? Did you download the yeah, I think you must have downloaded the go to YouTube is now trending. That would be very funny. Do they have the right to do that? Wait, what is trending? Hold on. Let's have some fun here. Elon's trending. Yeah. Unable is still trending, which is fucking awesome. Oh, he's trying to talk, but he's muted. Oh, right, because I have well, I don't have the thing. Well, oh my gosh, I didn't. Why? What is ReactBot saying? Oh no. That's really funny. Mr. President, what are you trying to say? Okay. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, I think they're trying again. They're trying again with the spaces, I think. And the spaces are not working. We're back to the gray we're back to the gray of doom.
This makes my head hurt.
ReactBot is live.
This makes my head hurt.
ReactBot is live and beautiful.
This makes my head.
Okay. You know, it's actually better.
Damn, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It's better.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's better if I don't control him. I kind of love that. This makes. All right, so we're back with the grayness of mediocrity here. Intro of grayness and red pilledness. Oh my god. Audience, what are you doing storming the Capitol? Sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Elon tweeted again. Okay, Elon has tweeted again. No, well, yeah, I already saw this one. We tested the system with 8 million concurrent listeners earlier today.
It's official. I'm on the weird side of.
Thanks, ReactBot. You are on the weird side of YouTube right now, hero. Check his replies. Oh shit. Okay, we need it, guys. We need to check Elon's replies. Hold on. Elon's replies save lives. Okay, let's just X out of this. There we go. Dude, this is going really well. This is going really well. All right, hold on. Go to replies. Oh my god. Oh my fucking.
Can we skip this part?
No.
Jack,
I understand, but look at this. This is so cringe. All right. So after the DDoS, it's Dems fighting to save democracy from two massive disruptors. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. That's so lame. That's, yeah, go ahead and mark technical difficulties. I didn't realize you made that a space. That's awesome. Mark technical difficulties. And I think that's all I want to give you for now. Yeah. Oh my God. So fucking stupid. Oh my God. This is the equivalent of him saying like interesting or checking on this or that's a great point, which he does all the time. Oh wait, cancel culture? Because it is somewhat relating to that. Concerning. Yeah, thank you, Noisy Knuckles. Yeah, exactly. Concerning. That's another one that he uses a lot, right? He'll like respond to like a clearly racist tweet with concerning. It's so bad. Looking into this. Or today's Jack is a Nerd video, this, which is my favorite Reddit comment ever. Oh, man. I'm glad I'm recording all of this because this is all really usable material. Comedy is now legal. Hey, let that sink in, Mr. President. I won't, but I want it so bad.
It's giving staged. It's
React bot with the jump scare. Oh my God. Do we have a new tweet? Let's see. I hope it recommends me to follow Andrew Tate again. That was cool. No. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. All right, let's try joining the space again. And intro of greatness. Yeah, nothing. And then we broke Twitter. Once again. Well, that's just great. Oh, there's a new tweet? Gamers, there's a new tweet.
It is so over.
Oh no, is it?
It is. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
Okay, hold on.
Damn, that's crazy.
Jesus.
Damn, that's crazy.
Kai.
Damn, that's crazy.
Kai, help.
Damn.
Thank you. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. We have really cool news here. All right. It says we will proceed with the smaller number of concurrent listeners at 8:30 Eastern. So that's now actually. And then post the unedited audio immediately thereafter. That's so fucking lame. Oh my God. That's so fucking.
We are so back.
I don't know if we are though. Smaller number of concurrent listeners. Okay, so like that's now. So let's refresh and try again. I assume. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are we in?
We are so back.
Are we so back? Are we
We
in?
are so back. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's...
Is this real? Okay. All right. Ew. We're in. All right, gamers, get your bingo cards. Last chance to get your bingo cards out. We are somehow in a very select few. Okay? I don't know how, but we're in. So get your bingo cards. We already have the current spaces marked. We have heavy cringe and technical difficulties, okay? And just a reminder, your bingo card will look different from mine. This is mine. I'm playing this live. Like, this is my little bingo card. Mark your free space, too. It's in the middle. Your free space will be the same. Everyone has the same free space. It just says free. Oh, fuck yeah. Hold on. When the drums kick in, this fucking turns me on. What? Trump. Dude, when Trump loses again, I'm a little scared about what's going to happen to, like, the country. He's going to throw another tantrum, incite another J6, and people are going to get so mad when he loses again. And I really do think he'll lose. But in the meantime, this part's fun. This part of the election cycle's fun. We're just memeing. We're just memeing.
Like this if you're watching in 2014.
My man.
Like
Thanks, ReactBot. I love you. Okay. Predictions. We got to predict what'll happen. I doubt he'll say Hannibal Lecter. That would be very funny, though. Cybertruck will definitely be mentioned. That's almost a given. Hoax will probably be brought up. Rigged or stolen. Trump is already, like, on Truth Social. He's already, like, claiming. He's basically saying he lost already. I'm dead serious. He's like, you know, if they win, it'll be because they cheated. He's basically admitting, like, he's prepping losing. He's prepping the whole scenario when he loses so that he can start the narrative again. It's 4 years ago. Start the narrative where it's like, well, they cheated. That's the only way. That's the only way Kumbala won. So definitely we'll get a reference to rigged or stolen or cheat. Elon is going to do some heavy sucking up. I'm sure illegal immigration will be brought up.
checkmate, atheist.
Kumbala DDoS. Sorry. Kumbala DDoS the space. Or Kamabla. Sorry, I'm catching up with the chat. It's so good. So fucking funny. Hassan is using my bingo. Let's go! Ludwig and Hassan are using the best bingo card in the world. All right. Hoping, oh my God, Jules. Jules has a great prediction. Hoping for Elon to make a, haha, I was hurt when I wasn't your VP pick joke. Absolutely. Trump, why didn't you pick me as your VP? Just kidding, of course, but, you know, imagine, consider. And Trump will be like, you're a good guy, Elon. I can't fucking do a Trump. You're very rich, you're a good guy. But I had to go with JD. Loves families, hates women, doesn't like cat ladies. Mr. President, I'm in. I can't hear shit. Hold on. What's happening? He doesn't know his mic is on? No. What? He's being silenced. People are... Okay, okay.
Wow. I have no words.
So that's what... We should... ReactBot should be a speaker. He's saying more. He's saying more than the president and the billionaire. Which sounds like a movie. That sounds like the Prince and the Pauper. The president and the billionaire. Mr. Trump, get muted. Kumbabla is ruining Twitter. She's ruining this conversation. She DDoSed me. I don't know how, but she did. Kamamabla is stealing this conversation. She stole Twitter. I was going to have a great conversation with my good friend, Elon X. He was going to give me another Cybertruck, I heard. I don't know. They're good people. Great cars. Love them. Love the cars. I love the giant truck. Have you seen the truck?
Jover.
Is it Jover? What is happening? Trump got
Damn,
Melvin.
that's crazy.
Did Trump get Melvin? That's so
Damn,
sad.
that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
React bot.
Damn, that's crazy.
React bot. I need you to snap out of it.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's very crazy.
Damn, that's crazy.
React bot, sir.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
Can we, thank you. He has 700 sayings, but of course, it's the damn that's crazy that we've heard 1,000 times. I've snuck like 4 or 5 Bible verses in there too. Like every once in a while, he'll say like a real weird Old Testament verse. Like, you know, those are fun. But then he'll say, damn, that's crazy. Kamabla's ruining the chat. She's ruining this beautiful conversation I was going to have with Mr. X. That's what I call Elon. He's Mr. X. He invented Twitter. T-DOS is trending. Of course it is. Of course it is. I used to like Tim Apple, but I like Elon X a lot better. All right, I'm just saying. Never cared for Tim Apple. I love X. I use X every day. Not as much as Truth Social, but I still like X. Okay, Elon is back. Thank God. All right. Mr. President and Mr. Felon, let's go. Come on, we got bingo to play, fellas. Come on. Come on. Let the felon speak. Let the felon speak. I want to hear Trump say the word Cybertruck. I really want that. I really want Trump to mispronounce Kamala again. So much fun.
Ezekiel chapter 23 verse 20. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses.
Cool,
Ezekiel,
React bot.
Checkmate, atheist. Checkmate, atheists.
My man.
Checkmate, atheists. Checkmate.
Okay. Starting to sound like a Reddit bro. That was a real Bible verse, by the way. So there you go. Why? Okay, Elon, Don, why is ReactBot talking more than either of you? Well, no, I'll give you some grace. I'm sure you're scrambling behind the scenes to make this work. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on this convo to go. You're 40 minutes late, but you know, it's bound to happen. That's fine. Technical difficulties are a given when a conversation is of this magnitude. Other gooning? That's probably why. Okay. Where's the hold music? At least the hold music was fun, especially when the percussion kicked in. Sorry, someone told me to check.
This really shows how oppressed gamers are.
It really does, ReactBot. That's true. The Onion just tweeted out 6 minutes ago, Elon Musk demands Twitter servers explain what all these wires for. Long live the Onion. May it never die. Damn, it's almost, like Aaron said, it's almost like he shouldn't have fired all those people. What a big dum-dum. Daniel, thank you for the 55-month sub. You are a legend. Oh, where are you going? Bye, honey. Have fun, hun. I saw that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, if you're just tuning in, you're probably wondering what the H, pardon my French, is going on. A lot of technical difficulties, but not on my end, believe it or not. Oh, I can't do laughter. Not on my end.
All right, hello everyone.
Hello, Mr. President.
With the late start, we unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers,
Sorry, gamer.
and saturated all of our
Looks
data
like
lines.
we got ourselves a
Basically,
sticky
hundreds
situation.
of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for
Is that better?
what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview.
Oh my God.
And this is really
Go ahead and mark
aimed
free
at,
speech on your bingo cards.
kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind, so you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation. So honored to Donald, great to speak. We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke
Yeah, go ahead.
every
Elon
record
sucks
in
up.
the book
Well, actually not
with,
yet.
so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And
Yeah.
so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which
Assassination attempt. Mark it.
Was an incredible thing, and I have to say that
Incredible thing.
Your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring.
Sucks up to Trump.
You instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying fight, fight, fight. And I think
Fist pump.
That's
Mark it. Mark fist pump.
I mean, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire.
I'm gonna get a bingo.
So that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Elon, what are you wearing?
Not pleasant. I have
Not
to be honest.
pleasant.
I said there was blood. I had
Being
more
shot is
blood.
not
I didn't
much
know
fun.
I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in
Very
this
bloody
case, it was
place.
probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very. I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot less than this where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was
lost
at
all
the
his blood.
ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start.
Jesus. Yeah, because it just killed someone behind you, you fucking idiot.
I'm a believer. Now I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me.
Wow, there is a God, because it didn't kill me, it killed someone else.
It was amazing that I happened to be
That's weird behavior. That's so fucking
angle.
weird. Mark, weird behavior.
And
what a
all because
cocksucker.
I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart.
The numbers are so great.
Maybe that's a sign,
It's an immigration sign.
Oh my God, stop.
Issue.
Immigration
At that
and
moment,
crowd size, both mentioned.
That's right.
Mark
the
it.
bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
Well, the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this.
Okay, apparently we have
shooter.
bingos.
Very sad situation.
Here's the deal.
Such a sad situation. As you know, we
I
lost
can't pause
somebody
this.
that was great, Corey, who, a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And
he called the
a friend of
victim
mine
a
came up,
trumper.
Elon, and said, I'd like to
Oh,
give the
Christ
family
almighty.
some kind of help. And I
Can you
said,
imagine?
That's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but I'd
can't
rather have
believe
my
he said
husband
that.
back, which is a nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest.
Yeah, let's go for blackout
great.
bingo.
The
Fuck
family
it.
is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen who are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally. And we thought, my first question was, because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous thousands
We
and
get it.
thousands
Yep.
of
The
people.
best, the
and
biggest,
there was
best
no
crowds.
land. I mean, it was all people. So I said,
do we have
how
crowd
many
size
people
marked?
have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots
Make
being
sure-
fired. And,
Make sure you
and
mark
they
crowd
said,
size mentioned. And
we don't know yet,
Jarvis,
but
if you could
some
add
people
crowd
have been
size
badly
mentioned,
hurt.
please, in the master list.
And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium. And he saw
Jarvis,
the
we have
smoke and
many
the
more
flame from the
spaces.
gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot.
Jarvis, we lost a bunch
And
of
it was
spaces.
one-
Can we get those back?
Perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot of people.
We're doing blackout. We're doing blackout.
Could have been
blackout
badly
bingo, so we
hurt
need all the
and
spaces.
killed. So
Yeah,
I have to
absolutely.
take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. He's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this.
It's all right. You're doing fine,
And
Jarvis.
all of a sudden he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the
Thank you,
he
Jarvis.
saw the gun,
That was
saw the
fast.
smoke, saw the flame from the
What a
gun.
hero.
Very far away. I obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that particular work. But he took
Absolutely.
aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds
Elon, are you wearing a
from
MAGA
long
hat?
range, one bullet.
People deserve to know.
If that didn't happen, because
Yeah.
the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of cartridges
Sure.
up there
Sorry.
with him.
He had a lot of bullets.
Well,
It's just
Right.
I mean,
the most Trump way to say that.
That's clearly, he was very competent in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be, some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people, because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it, and she's screaming,
Big Trumper.
"That guy's got a gun!" You saw it probably.
Yeah.
There's a guy up there with a
Videos.
gun.
I mean, it's like I guess, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are,
straight up lies. What's lies though?
People
are saying straight up lies. What exactly
guy on the roof with a gun
has been lied about?
And they're seeing it, but somehow,
as much as I want to give you
not
straight
being
up lies,
that does seem crazy.
Well,
Tens of
they're going to learn
thousands.
from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea,
the
and then
DDoS
ultimately
attack?
a man
Yeah,
lifted
straight applies.
himself
Mark
up to
it.
the roof.
Mark
could
straight applies.
Barely do it because
Oh, it's
he was
already marked
pulling
on the bachelor
himself
list.
up.
Sorry, guys. You already knew.
And
Yeah.
he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to
Yep.
get shot, but he was like pulling himself up. And because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly,
Okay.
but he fell down, and he did. From what I understand, he did say there's a guy up there with a gun, and the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. He was supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf,
Yeah.
sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah. It's not a
No,
tough shot.
it's not a. It's
I'm
not
gonna
a long
give some
shot.
subs real quick to.
The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had triple the
Yeah.
distance actually. So it was a terrible thing. Look,
Actually, I'm gonna give subs at the end of the stream.
It's hard.
So if you,
I have to say this
well,
about
we're
the
doing
Secret
blackout
Service.
bingo.
When
so.
I went down, and I went down based on I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody
Question, please.
ran.
I agree.
mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd
Yeah.
control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of
Yeah.
people get killed with those stampedes. We had
Sure.
more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small
What is
group
he actually
behind
talking
us
about
in the
right now?
grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and
Is he still
normally they'd
flexing
be
about how many
running.
people were at
They
this
didn't
fucking
leave.
rally?
They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down.
A lot of blood, a lot of bullets, a lot of
And
people.
It's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler, as far as the eye could see, and
Yeah.
and a lot of press too. There was many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it, so sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I'll tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people
Sure.
because
Sure.
it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down. But the Secret Service
Yeah.
guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and
Yeah.
these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, would jump. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now there was a lack of coordination.
Here we
there
go.
was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered. And
Yeah. I mean,
that was the
I think
big
that,
thing.
like, I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick, like, what is the favorite? If you
A lot of Monday
so
night
if the goal is to
quarterbacking.
assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building. The
You're
roof of
right.
that building would be #1.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better
No,
location. It's like
no,
#1.
that would have been the spot.
Um,
You know what people think
Yeah.
is when the
Do we have
local
talking over?
policeman,
Is that on the
who,
bingo?
by the way, he really
Mark talking
he
over.
did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer.
I don't think I have it.
And then when he
Yeah.
got his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head, and when he fell down again, hurt his ankle very badly. But he was making the calls. But what
Elon
happened is
interrupting
the
the signal.
firing took place very soon.
Oh, it's not a space.
So
Interrupting is not a
what
space.
they think is that
Sorry,
this
guys.
guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the site and he started
I know,
shooting
I'm sorry,
fast,
gamers.
and maybe that's why he he sort of missed. I mean, he
Yeah,
he,
but
he
as you
got
said,
me,
you
but it
would've
could have
hit.
been
I mean,
could have been a much
Yeah.
bigger problem.
but he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, like, there was
By the grace of
it
God.
was a very near thing.
It was a
So,
miracle. If I hadn't turned my head,
yeah,
I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like
It
you,
was a
exactly.
miracle, he
I would
says.
not.
Yeah,
I would
Well,
not be talking to
I mean, you'd be talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from a
so-
different.
But that
place.
firefighter Trumper
But,
would still be alive.
It was.
He was a Trumper. Do you know that?
It
The
was a very
victim?
terrible experience. The
was a
Butler
big Trumper.
Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that there was somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been pretty well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if somebody could have said, because they've oftentimes said, like there'd be a lightning storm.
Yeah,
or
this is
something, 'cause
taking
they've done,
long.
I think over 300.
Can we
I
mark
think I
general
did a lot
cringe?
more than that, but
They're
we
really
did a
like
lot,
focused
and
on this.
oftentimes
Like,
they'll say, "Sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a
on
storm
this subject,
overhead or lightning or
I'm
something."
going to give you
right?
general cringe in
Yeah.
addition
That
to
happens
heavy
often.
cringe.
And this would have been a perfect time for that to have happened.
I don't have it, but you guys might.
It
Yeah.
didn't. It didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
Well, it was.
thank Christ.
I think.
Next question.
Actions in the heat of fire, and like what I found admirable there was that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual, or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action.
You're so
and
brave,
so I just
Trump.
want to say that
You're so
I think
fucking
a lot of
brave.
people admire your courage under fire there. And
Well,
yeah, so
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I
didn't
wanted
even
to let
try to be
people
brave,
know.
but I
I
was.
felt I was good when they were on top of me, covering me. Actually, very much covering me, and
Very
very
much
bravely.
covering me.
But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up. And, they wanted.
No way!
They had.
You wanted to get up? I said I wanted to get up.
They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher, and I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew
Makes
I
me
wasn't
look
hit
weak. I
anywhere
didn't want
else.
the
They felt
stretcher.
I was hit someplace.
Sign of
Yeah.
weakness.
It was such a lot of blood, and they were
So
sure
much
that I
blood
was
in
hit
the air.
someplace
Do you know
else,
this?
And they were
Gallons of
saying,
blood in the air.
Sir, you were hit in more than the ear. I said, nope, I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up.
I wanna get up.
I got up, and the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused.
Big
They didn't
crowd,
know what to
right?
think.
Biggest crowd
And
ever.
I wanted to let
Wouldn't
them know I
believe it.
was okay. It was very important for me to let
Yeah.
them know that, and they went wild. You've seen the after. They didn't go wild when I
Yeah.
got up because they didn't know was I alive. You really couldn't tell when I stood up before the the fist in the air. They didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did, and when I put the fist up, they were.
Are we sure about that,
They were just
Mr. Trump?
relieved and happy and thrilled, and the place went crazy.
You didn't drop.
It was pretty
You-
amazing.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear you were
was
very much
a
alive.
terrible
Well,
thing, but it was
incredibly
amazing.
moving. Yeah.
It's very moving.
Well, and I mean,
So
speaking of
moving.
the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life really was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this
That's right.
maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was.
that slide saved
You're
your
right.
life.
No,
basically.
the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it was.
Basically,
And I had to be at
that's
that exact angle.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal.
You heard it
You
here
know,
first, folks.
the incredible
100%.
thing, though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at that angle. But the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
It's always on my left, never my right, and it's always at the end of the speech. So here
Yeah.
we have it. It's on the right, not the left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And
Yeah,
even the
Elon
people
tried
that
a
put it
joke.
up,
Go
they
ahead,
were
mark it.
unprepared.
Yeah, Mark
And they did
Elon
great
tried a
job.
joke.
They got it up immediately, fortunately. But I looked to the right, and the bullet came whizzing by, hitting my ear. So it was amazing. But when you think of the odds of that, and
Yeah.
you know that normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then it
Yeah.
would have been a very different story. It's very much, I say, an act of God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored by it. I'm honored by it.
Well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were
Yes,
rudely
Trump, what were you
interrupted?
about to say?
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler.
Let's see how good the
We're
numbers
going to
are.
go back in October. We're all set up, and
all he fucking cares
the
about.
people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. These are incredible people. like the three that, in the case of Corey, killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying,
As, yeah, as you
prior
were
to
saying,
being so
exactly.
horribly
So,
interrupted.
yeah,
But
yeah. So rudely interrupted by an
yeah,
assassination
so it was.
attempt.
But no, but the chart,
Some people have no manners.
Elon, the chart
Oh my God,
was just
Elon,
a
stop.
chart that in my last week we had the best illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping. It was at the lowest. You've seen the chart. It's become quite a famous
Yeah,
chart,
yeah,
but that was the lowest
yeah.
point ever recorded. It was a really, I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people, Kamala and Joe. You see what happened.
Oh, I can't
They
believe you
just
said
let it
Kamala,
go. I had
not Kamala.
remain in Mexico policies. I had all these different policies that was so good.
Yeah,
Guys
is Trump
like
not
Tom
answering the question?
Homan and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all people that they've been on television. They said it's the best numbers we've ever had. We had so many different checks, catch and release in Mexico. Not
I've
the
genuinely
United. We
lost
had
track
catch
of
and
what
release
question
in the
he's
United
supposed to be
States.
answering right now.
We had it in Mexico. We had so many things. We had things where if many people come in there, they have contagious diseases. We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country.
No, he's talking about
So we were
immigration.
setting
Yeah.
literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes,
Sure.
and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always.
I'm
I'll be
considering
sleeping with
weirdly
that
racist
chart. That chart
undertones
was
because of the contagious
very
diseases
important,
thing.
very important for a lot of reasons.
Well, I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but but we also need to shut down illegal immigration,
Here we go.
and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately
100%.
represent your position?
I say it
Okay.
very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's
Yeah.
saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax
Yeah,
on
I'll
tips,
give you that.
and all of a sudden
Go
she's
ahead, Mark.
making a speech
Weirdly racist
saying there will be
undertones.
no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite.
I'm shocked
They
that he's
had
saying
not
Kamala's
only
name right.
tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you, and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible, and I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a
And what were
catastrophe
those
like
numbers,
this.
sir?
We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12
Yeah.
million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country,
Yeah.
many
He
coming
has numbers.
from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is
Yeah.
insane asylums.
Lecter?
And
Hannibal
many are
Lecter?
terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia, they're
Yeah.
coming from the Middle East, they're coming from countries that are stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're coming from all over the world.
fucking God.
And you look at, it's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened.
Yeah.
It's so sad
Sure.
when you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective
Yeah.
government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5
Yes, DDR
months
Donald.
that
Yes.
they can do something, but they won't do
Absolutely.
anything. It's all talk. She's
No.
incompetent and he's incompetent. And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something, because he's not too good.
Yeah. No, I think
Call him
it's
Sleepy
it
Joe.
is essential to have a secure border. I mean, you're really not a country unless you have a
Correct.
secure border, and
And
uh,
secure elections
you
too.
know,
Oh my God.
yeah, absolutely secure elections, and so it's just essential to have a real border, or we can't function as a country, and our service, our essential services are being overwhelmed in a lot of cities, um, and as we were talking about earlier, I think having
Here we
a
go.
legal immigration
Oh,
process that is
we're gonna do this.
smooth and efficient and
Rigged.
done well, and speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant, and I think that I mean, like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Um, who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna, be great contributors to our society and to our economy,
Right.
and
Yeah, what are you saying, Elon? What
and
does that mean?
who do you want on the team? And it's
Who do you want on
and
the
it's
team,
not to
Elon?
say that, like in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion, um, but some are not, and you just have this sort of adverse selection process where, if somebody's if somebody's like you know um, uh, has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're in such a target-rich environment. Um,
A
I mean,
career in theft? What are you
why aren't
saying,
they?
sir?
Why aren't more people who have a career in bad things coming here sooner? Because I mean, it's a piece of cake
Oh,
to
they
go
should have
rob,
brought in a poet.
houses in L.A. or New
Christ.
York, compared to other parts of the world, and and in a lot of places in America,
A career
if
in
you try to
theft.
stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's insane.
It's right. I mean, what's happening with crime, and our police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I
They're
hate
not.
to say it because it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate it, but uh, you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're
I
allowing,
think you're
again,
right.
they're
Yeah.
allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example,
Where they're coming
Venezuela,
from.
their
Oh,
crime is
Christ.
down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their
Oh,
criminals, their
don't use
murderers,
Venezuela
their
as like
rapists, and they're
Yeah.
delivering them
an
into.
example to
That's what
look to aspire
Castro
towards.
did
Yeah,
that.
well, he did on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
You know, it was a much smaller
Yeah.
scale. But this is a
Oh my
massive scale
God.
because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down. And wait till you see the numbers that we have. You know, this is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed, where they raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started
Sure.
pulling out the knives, and bad things happen today. But this is happening every day. These are
Pulling
rough
out the,
people.
what
These are
the
people that
fuck
are
are
in
you
jail for
talking
murder
about?
and all sorts of things, and they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people.
Yeah.
These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people, and it's
Fucking
horrible what they're
hell.
doing. And she's in charge of it because now she's trying to say she
Sure.
had nothing to do with it, and she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location which had nothing to do with where the problem is. She went in and out, I
Right.
guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the problem
Yeah.
is. But she was
Well.
the
Well.
border czar, and the people
Yeah. Yeah.
can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known
Yeah.
what happened. You could shut the border down; he
Yeah.
wouldn't even know the difference. But uh, the fact is that she was border czar. But if you don't have to call her
Yes.
that, the fact is you
Is
could just
border
call
czar
her.
a
She was
nickname?
in charge of the border,
I don't know
and
if
the
we want to
border
give
was the
that.
worst
Right.
ever.
It's simply not working.
No, it's
I mean,
horrible.
whether it's
I'm gonna
by
give you. I'm
whether
gonna give
it's
you guys a
by
nickname for
whether
border
it's a
czar.
question
Border czar
of
Kambala.
intention or competence. Either way, we we don't have
It's
a
a Mark
secure border,
nickname.
and we have
And
people
I'll
streaming
remind
over like
Jarvis
it
when
looks
they're
like
done
a
peeing.
World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you
Oh,
see
it's not
things,
a
you're like,
nickname?
is it real? So I went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and
Did
I was
she
like,
call herself that?
okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this
Or
in
is it
real
an
time. I
actual,
actually
hold on.
posted the video like just
It
live.
might, hold on.
I just flew there one day and just
You know
to
what?
see, hey, is this
Unchecked
is this
nickname.
made up or real? And
I'm wrong.
I'm just seeing
Apparently
people
it's
stream across the border,
some type of
and
title, unofficial
and I
or
have to
official.
say, at
I
least the people that I
apologize.
saw did not look friendly.
These
So
these are
people can look at my video and say, hey,
yeah.
does these people look friendly? I don't look super friendly. So
These are people that
um,
Elon would not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across.
Oh my
And
God.
I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country.
I'm going to say
And,
bigotry,
the
just like rough
caravans are
people.
coming in and they're putting, and who's
Yeah, I'm going to give you
doing this
bigotry
are the
there.
heads of the countries.
That's,
And you would be doing
yeah,
it, and so would I. And
go
everyone
ahead
say,
and
oh,
mark
what a
that.
terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them
Yeah.
because they're taking all of their
Thank you. Jarvis is back.
bad
Let's fucking
people,
go.
really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think is they're also taking their non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them. But these are people that are non-productive. They are just not productive. I mean, for whatever reason, they're not
Yeah, yeah.
Don't worry about
workers, or
that.
they don't want to work, or whatever.
Nobody wants
And
to
these
work anymore.
countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases, and they're also getting rid of their murderers and their drug dealers and the people that are
Yeah.
really brutal
Same
people.
song and dance from
And
2016,
they're coming
dude.
into our country
said all
at
this
levels
before.
that have never been seen before.
They're
And I
giving
saw
us
an
their
ad
rapists,
just before I
right?
got on the air. I'm walking over here, and I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to
I can't believe I
provide
said her name right
border
3
security.
times,
Where has she
4
been for
times.
3.5 years? For 3.5 years,
Yeah, no,
we have 20 million people
I think
poured
is
in. It's a terrible
yeah, I
thing.
think this, frankly, I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past, 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country
You don't
left
have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. We think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, the four. But it's
She
not
just wanted
that.
to say the
It's
word Guatemala.
everywhere. They're coming
Guatemala.
in from
Yeah,
everywhere. And I had to stay in
Not the
yeah, I
Mexico.
think
Italians.
this is a super
Fucking
important
hell.
point. Like people, it's like
Fucking
basically,
hell.
when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was
The
from
big
Mexico.
four.
No,
there.
Mexico less, less
It's
than
just the
the
border.
others.
It's just the border with Mexico. But the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything in the
We're
U.S.
already
So
overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the news tonight about New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it,
What are they
and
doing
all
to
the
it?
courts do is they
yeah.
try and focus on Trump. Okay, let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complained about
Nothing
our rigged
wrong!
election. Elon,
Nothing
what
wrong!
happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa, from the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the
Sir?
Congo recently, and
Sir?
they're murderers, and they're dropped. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is
You're
very
a convicted
expensive,
felon,
to
but you
maintain
did
the jails.
nothing wrong.
They don't do too much maintaining, I can tell you. But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, "Don't
That's
ever
right.
come
That's
back.
what
Or you're going to
happens. They
be
just rip them
executed."
straight from jails and
And
say,
they
"Here
don't
you
want to
go."
come back.
That's
But
how
they won't
immigration
come
works.
back.
Sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America.
Well, just
They're
Earth,
coming from
rest of Earth,
everywhere.
basically.
And there are a lot of
Yeah,
really
everywhere on
bad
This
Earth.
is
ones.
so
There's
blatant.
just
They're
a
coming from Africa,
it's just an
Asia,
everywhere on Earth
the Middle East.
thing, and it's just not possible for the
Oh,
United
that's
States to absorb,
blatant, dude. That's
everyone
fucking
from Earth,
blatant.
or even a few percent of the rest of Earth. It's just not possible. So
Well, Elon, we're going to have, just to
yeah.
finish this up, we're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country, what they've done to our country. Think of it, with in Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%.
Again,
and you would be the
Venezuela is
same.
not
You
the
would have.
example you
I'll
want to
tell you
keep
what,
using, sir.
Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries. Some
Sure.
are 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it?
Yeah.
And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow.
He's not running.
One of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this.
They did not say that.
We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different.
Yeah.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And
That's not fucking
and say
true.
what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't
Rick
want to
Stolen-
leave,
yeah.
and they said we can do it the nice
Yeah.
way or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy, and I'm no fan of his, and he was a horrible president,
Go
the
ahead,
worst
Mark
president
Rigged.
in history.
Go ahead,
And
Mark
one of the
Rigged.
reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it.
Well,
and we wouldn't have had Afghanistan. But we think of it.
Was hoax brought up? Was
You
it?
take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have inflation was caused by oil.
Yeah, I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that are, are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do? And do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would rightfully be. I mean, look at that the footage with the assassination. They're like, okay, President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's like. Whereas I think people are not going to be.
I can hear the MAGA hat Elon's wearing right now. I can hear it.
Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you
You're
have
so
to really
cool, Mr.
think
President.
of that in the context
You're
of
so fucking cool.
Global security. That's if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton. And,
there's your fucking hoax,
Schiff,
baby.
just
Mark
bad
hoax.
People, just sick people. Frankly, I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But they put our country in danger with that stuff too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me.
Not a flex, by the way.
Just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world going all over
Don't ever
Europe.
do it, Putin.
Putin came, and then they say, I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there. And the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers. Shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow.
Yeah.
I allowed it in my first week.
I didn't realize I didn't have
jobs and
this
it
one
moved
marked
oil.
from
And by the way,
question.
in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire.
Did he say Obama? Fuck, I missed. Did he say Obama?
But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down. And
he didn't.
He approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly
Damn it.
But I mean, I think it's just worth
I wish he
emphasizing
said Obama.
to listeners.
Although I'm glad I didn't miss it.
That the
Sorry.
immense
Got very
importance
excited.
of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security. Because
Yeah.
there's
Can't
some
have a
real
girl be
tough characters
president.
out there,
That's
and
not
if they don't think the
intimidating.
American president is tough, they will do what they want to
I
do.
know every one of
And
them.
it puts the whole
Yep.
world in danger.
Elon, I know every one
It's
of
a
them,
big
and I
deal.
know them well. I know
Yeah.
Putin. I know President Xi. I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good
Oh,
or
he did?
bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. And they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these
Yeah.
are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see
Yes!
Biden, Sleepy Joe,
Go ahead.
they can't
And Sleepy
even
Joe!
believe it. They can't believe this happened.
Go ahead, Mark. Nickname
All
and
the stuff that
Kamala
you're seeing now,
mispronounced.
all the horror that you
Back
look
to
at
back.
Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran.
I did
Iran
not
would
think we'd get
be
Sleepy
attacking,
Joe.
Believe me. You know,
Believe
when I
me.
was there, and I say it with respect because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll
Yeah,
pass.
yeah.
They didn't buy oil. Other countries, likewise.
Sure.
You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different
How
place.
bad is
we were
it?
respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where
4 years ago was
when I
not a
said don't
great
buy
time.
oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money,
Yeah, yeah.
and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day.
Can't.
You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. You know, getting along well
No
with them
way.
is
And
a
I
good
said
thing, not a
way.
bad thing. I got along well
I mean,
with
that's
Kim
just genuinely
Jong-un.
funny.
When I met with President Obama just before entering, you know, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they
Those
were.
like,
No, they
Oh
were.
my
He
God.
said
The
that he
glazing.
has a red button on
Those
his
were some
desk. I
epic
said,
tweets.
I
Mr.
have a
President.
red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger, and my red button works.
Fucking embarrassing.
And then I called him
Yeah.
Little
May I
Rocket
just say,
Man
Mr.
and
President,
Little
those
Rocket
tweets
Man.
were
Anyway,
epic sauce.
here's the bottom line. All of a sudden, I got a call from him, and they said they want to meet. They want to meet me, and we met.
Yeah.
As you remember,
Elon
we
called
met in
him
Singapore.
tweets.
We met also in Vietnam. And
I'm gonna. You know what?
got along with him great. We were
Yeah.
in no danger.
Even though it says
But
Trump
President
calls it
Obama-
Twitter,
President
I don't
Obama
care. I'm
thought
gonna
we
give you
were gonna
Trump
end up
calls
in
it
a
Twitter
war.
because Elon
a
called it
nuclear
Twitter.
war with him. And let me tell you, he's
Yeah,
got
it's
a lot
so
of
true.
nuclear stuff too.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of nuclear.
It's-
He can do plenty of damage. So
Yes, I mean it's because people like Kim Jong Un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
well,
and
he
and
and I got
if
he
you
and I
project
had a good
strength,
relationship.
you're
Remember,
Yeah.
I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
Let's bring
that was
up
cool.
Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and
Yeah, I'm
it
with
was,
Kai, not a flex.
It was an amazing period, but we were not in danger with him because of me. You know, I always
Yeah.
say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government
Bad people.
and people that are and controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help.
What was that?
I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got,
Is that
if
what they
you
taught
take
us
a
in
look,
history? I missed that day.
Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
The biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more. You'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is
shut
not
up.
that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have
Is that-
significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow
I don't think that's the threat.
anything to happen with
don't think that's
stupid
real.
people like Biden. Biden.
I don't think that's a thing,
did
Mr.
something with
former
Russia.
President.
There was no chance of him ever going in. And
That's
when
not
I
a
left,
thing.
And then after I left, they started
You
forming
can't make up no.
big armies
No.
on the
No.
border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ.
Oh my God.
He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war would
you're not running
that
against
war
him
had zero
anymore,
chance
right?
of
Like,
happening
you understand
if I
that?
were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite.
He
And
doesn't even have an
it's so
IQ.
sad, because many more people have been killed in Ukraine
don't know if it's
than you read
possible to have
about.
negative.
You
I
don't
think you
read
have
about how
negative IQ.
bloody it is and how disastrous.
Sure.
Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000 people. And Ukraine's having a hard
This is
time.
new brain rot.
Ukraine, I don't know if
This
you
is
saw
new
the
brain
article
rot.
recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone.
I'm trying to think about
Russia
it. I'm
defeated
trying not to,
Germany
actually.
with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a
Bless
big
you, Chef.
fighting force,
Yeah. Sure.
and it's
course.
very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight, and we're in a very bad position. And I'm not
Markov
going to blame
Napoleon
exclusively,
mentioned.
but I can tell you, I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words
We've
that
lost
he
the
was
plot.
using, the stupid threats coming from a
So much.
stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war.
Did you
He's
say
going to
stupid
cause us.
face?
And let
Did I
me tell
hear
you,
that?
it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle
He
East
actually
can
said a
lead to-
stupid face.
We have numerous
He actually
places
said
that could
that.
end up in
Yeah.
a World War III right now for no reason
No,
whatsoever.
He did not
I think
say
you're right.
that.
I think people
With a
underrate
stupid
the
face.
risk of World War III.
Oh,
And it's just
fucking hell.
when you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity. And
How is this real?
It's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things
And,
we're going to do is
it's-
we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best Iron Dome in
The
the world.
best
We need
Iron
it,
Dome.
and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one. Some other places
Yeah.
have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an Iron Dome. But, with all of that being said, to me, that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear
I think
about
that's
the
a real
economy
thing.
and the fact that
Absolutely,
they
sure.
can't
Not an
buy
actual
groceries
physical
because they
dome.
don't have enough money to buy groceries.
But more
the
like a
inflation has killed
missile
them.
detection
Food prices are up
system.
50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed
Yeah.
this to happen, and it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot. And we discussed the border at great length. It's nice to have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
forum
Trump,
like
can you
this
say
where I can
stupid face
discuss
again?
something
That was
at length. And by the way, you think Biden
kind
could
of
do
awesome.
this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass
No,
on you.
they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does
You know
this
what's
for a
actually
living
sad,
can't answer a
sir?
question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case, with a very
You
friendly
can't answer
interview,
a
she's
fucking
got all
question
friendly
yourself, dude.
interviewers. It's pretty sad.
Yes,
But the
absolutely.
big thing now is the
Well,
economy, Elon.
yeah,
And as much as
yeah,
I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if I was president, you're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that they
I
really
don't think you will
is
be.
making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it
yeah,
doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is eating you alive. If you're a worker or if you're
Would you call the inflation woke, sir?
just a middle income person, you can't afford. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using
yeah.
all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing
Right.
that's happening, and we'll end that
Well, I think
quickly.
a lot of yeah, a lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply, and if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services,
That's right.
that's inflation. Um,
Thank you,
so
Elon,
really,
for that
we
little
need to
lesson.
have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not
Right.
sensible? And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly
Right.
every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceed the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion,
It's interest.
and it keeps
Yeah, I
growing.
rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were,
This is exhausting,
and
dude.
bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then by the way, then we gave
I'm so excited for
85
the
billion
Harris
of
Trump
it
debate
back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We
because
gave
there will
them
be no
85
glazing.
billion. They're one of the largest sellers
Yeah.
of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy
Yeah.
prices down. Energy started at the price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make a great product.
Good one,
I have
Trump.
to say, I have to be honest with you.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible.
Do you like the
But
truck?
But the
Thank you.
gasoline, Elon, is
Damn it.
the cost of energy.
Talk
Not
about the
only
truck.
gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That
Sure.
has to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%.
He has to. No,
That has to
I'm not
come
gonna
down.
give you Cybertruck.
When that comes
It has to
down,
be
and we're going to
specific
drill,
to
baby,
Cybertruck.
drill. They stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable. Wind and different things. You're not going to have anything.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say
Yeah.
that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're
Sure.
going to need a lot of
Well, I mean,
electricity. You're going to need tremendous
Yeah.
electricity,
Can you
like
build energy?
almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if
Is
you
that-
can believe it.
Is that the phrasing?
Sure. Well, just
Chip,
going
can you build
back to
energy?
this, like this basic thing, which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government
Right.
overspending. Would you agree that we need to take a look at government spending
Yes.
and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so that the country lives within its means, just like a
The
person does?
waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and
Are you
you end
hearing
up
this
with
shit,
two
Chip?
companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through it, like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general said, "Sir, would you please sign this document?" And what is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing. which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was
Yeah.
$5.7 billion for two planes. Now,
Wow.
now they're highly sophisticated.
That's insane.
They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. They're very, I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it.
They got a lot of stuff.
But it's 5.7.
It's nicer than your plane. It's a
That's
lot of
It's a
stuff.
crazy number, but I
Can't
said,
even
I'm
tell
not
you.
going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion.
Wow.
For
What
the
a
exact
gem.
same plane, other than we had a nicer
He's a
paint
miracle
job, if
worker,
you want to
that
know
Trump,
the
I'll
truth.
tell you.
But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to
He
Boeing,
almost sounds too good to be
man,
true.
you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there, and they'll end up getting some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane.
He's
And
talking
you
a lot
can
about
now
Biden.
take that and multiply that out times thousands of other
Exactly.
items.
You know, the guy who's not running
Multiply it
anymore.
by
Yeah,
a
the
zillion,
numbers are
and
astronomical. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things
I miss the
and
dopey, of course.
and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if
it.
it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on
Yeah.
strike. I won't mention
Double
the name of the company, but they
glaze.
go
Look
on
at that.
strike, and you say, "That's okay.
This
You're all
donut is
gone.
glazed on both sides.
You're all gone." So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But if you look at Argentina,
Two idiots
Well, I'd
just
be happy to
gassing
help
by the way,
out.
themselves up. Don't you
congratulations.
love
I
it?
just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But
that's pretty good. We're speaking to you.
congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. It's,
Kids call it a
and
circle
you're an
jerk,
interesting
exactly.
character. The new
We
head
have
of
Trump saying
a
chat.
place called Argentina, and he's a big,
Malay's awesome.
he's great. And
Yeah.
he's a big MAGA fan, that he ran on MAGA. And
Oh,
he
fuck
took
off.
it to an extreme, too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought everything, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing
Elon, are
they're
you wearing one of
starting
those
to do
hats?
pretty well. Inflation's getting down. They had like
Yes,
2,000%.
exactly.
They had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to
Yeah.
have that pretty soon. I think we
Yeah.
have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst.
I don't
They
know.
don't
You
include
don't believe
a
the
lot
facts?
of
You
the
just
items
wanna
that should be
Go off
included.
intuition. That's fair.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money
Yeah.
effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all, and what Milei is doing is he's cutting government spending, he's simplifying things, he's putting in regulations that make sense, and we're Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement
That's right.
in prosperity. But it's also a
Wait, I
lesson
can't
for
read
the
what
United
that
States,
says.
which is that Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. In the 30s, 40s, and
Yes.
because of bad government
Yes.
policy, it
Thank you,
ruined the
Kai.
country.
That's real.
And
Look it up
if you
if
take
you get the chance,
Venezuela,
guys.
for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong,
Why do we keep going back
it
to
impoverishes
Venezuela?
the people. And so I think we should not be complacent in the United States and thinking that and taking out prosperity.
I mean,
for
I know why they're
granted,
talking about
because
Venezuela.
if with
But,
bad
like-
government policy, we can run the country into the ground, and that's just something people should bear in mind. Don't take prosperity for granted.
Well, think of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list of the top 40. We're ranked number 40, number 38. Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the top. They're a top 6 or 7. But we're ranked at the bottom, almost at the bottom, 38, 39, 40. In other words, horrible. And yet we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has
Oh
a lot of
no.
strength and courage
Oh
in sports.
no.
I want to close up
I need a
Department of
billionaire.
Education, move education back to the states, where
Yeah.
where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho,
Sorry, you're not gonna
you know,
win,
not every state
but
will do great,
continue.
because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California.
Gavin Newsom?
He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But
Gavin Newsom.
Of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15 of them, or 20 of them, will
Trump's
be as good
handler,
as Norway.
please get a hold of
Norway's
your
considered
president.
great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well-run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of the land or the sun and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you moved education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well, but they'll actually be forced to do better, because it'll be a pretty bad situation. But if you think about it, you'll have some of these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than half what it is in Washington. And these people don't care about the students in these, faraway states. And it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. I think you're making a good point in that.
No, he made no point at all.
If each state has to compete against other states, then people will naturally move to states where it's better.
Well, like California, as we said, it's a badly run state. I could go through. I got so many friends that are in those states, even if they're Democrats. I hate to mention certain states, but Illinois is badly run with Pritzker. He's a real loser. But some of these places are just badly run. But it's almost going to force them to run better, and they won't do it good initially. But you're not going to do worse than you're doing right now. And I would say that the cost, you would cut your cost by 50 or 60%. And you'd have a little monitor. You want to make sure they're teaching English, as an example. Give us a little English, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. No, but I mean, to what I mean, some of these governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many people moving out of their state. They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul.
Good joke, Elon.
Amazing.
People moving.
Nice
out.
thinger, buddy.
Isn't it amazing
Slam
to you
dunk.
as a businessman that they can even survive? Like Illinois.
Hey, he's trying.
So many people are leaving, and you wonder, how do they survive? I mean, how do they survive?
Boom, roasted.
I saw where you left California and you moved to Texas. Texas does a great job. But, I mean, I just wonder, how do these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses and their taxes are already really high? Their taxes are among the highest taxes. You almost wonder, how do they continue on? And in many cases, the governors don't do a good job, and they're crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not a good situation.
I mean, I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal government.
Right. Well,
that's the only thing that's
that.
going to get them to change.
You remember the area in California where they had that, where I guess somebody had sticky fingers and they stole a lot of money, and they went into a form of chapter, and it was very nasty for a period of time. But now it's probably the most popular place in all of California. So at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is, you can't penalize people that loan money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family
exhausted
business.
the subject of taxes and taxing states.
Then he ends up being governor of Illinois.
Such.
So
I think we need to move on to woke.
Is he going to be a great governor? And you have people. I could name every one of them. I got to know every one of these, and some are very good, and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that the larger point here, too, as you're saying, like a lot of people are concerned about the economy. A lot of people are concerned about inflation, and inflation is effectively a tax on people that save money, and for people that are working day to day, it's just a form of taxation. And if we can solve the government spending problem, we'll solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living,
Yeah.
and that's a really big
Well, the
deal.
people that got hurt
How would we
worst
define
are the
inflation?
people that did it the way they were taught to do it all through, their younger life and their young life and their whole life. The people that saved money and then they got no interest on their money and inflation destroyed them. And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated, and we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. When I look at bacon costing
He loves
4 or
talking
5
about
times
bacon.
more than it did a few years
Sure.
ago.
He
When you look at
does
some of the
bring up
food
bacon a lot.
products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it.
Can't buy
they
bacon
used to be
anymore.
able to buy a whole cart, and today, a lot of people just don't
A whole
have
cart?
the money. They
A
go
whole
in
cart
and
of
they
bacon?
can't buy anything.
I don't think
They
anyone's
look
ever
at-
done that
Yeah.
ever.
It's sticker shock.
think
They call it sticker
yeah.
shock, right?
I think it really just
Yeah,
comes,
it's
like I
like
said, I
epic
think it just
meal
comes
time,
down to,
that's right.
to really, I guess, to really.
You used to be
just
able to
two
buy a whole
things,
cart
which
of bacon.
is
You
that
can't even
if
do
you
that
solve
anymore.
Government overspending.
Venezuela, you
solve
can buy bacon
inflation,
all the time.
which improves living
Right.
standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate, like have sensible regulations, so because a lot of the,
Woke
the
liberals won't let
regulations
you
are
buy bacon
nonsensical
anymore.
and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason. But unless you've got effective deregulation, like Reagan did a great job on deregulation in the 80s, but it's been 40 years since we had
I hate to break it to you, you
anyone
guys are not going to solve the inflation crisis.
during your administration,
Move on
we
to
made some
woke.
progress, but I think there's an opportunity to make, I think, radical progress with sensible regulation. And if
Well,
if
Elon, we
So how do
two
those
things,
Reaganomics
yeah,
work? How did that trickle
those are the
down
big
effect
deals.
we
work?
set
Huh?
a record. We did more deregulation and more restrictions on all of the different businesses than any other president. Remember, I had the rule for
It
everyone
really
we put
fucking
in, you have to
trickled,
get
you
rid of
guys.
10 or 12. And we did
Yeah.
radical
This
cuts
fucking
on all of that, and a lot
sucks.
of
This
that's
is so
being
depressing
put
to
back by
listen
this
to.
administration. And we did radical cuts on things that weren't
I
necessary.
tried to make it
But
fun
we
with the
were
bingo, but
we
this is
were
really
all set.
depressing.
We had the best economy
It's just two idiots
ever
glazing
maybe
each
in the
other up,
world. And then what
rizzing
happened is
each other
COVID
up,
came in, and we had to
gassing
focus
each
on
other
that,
up.
and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on
And for
economy,
what?
good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt. But, I never got the credit that we really deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But had that not happened, a gift from China, from Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But had that
Yeah.
not happened, we were set to start reducing debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave
What
the
are we
largest
doing?
tax cuts, and we were going to reduce taxes still further for middle-income people, not only businesses. But we did it for businesses because they're the ones that's why we had the great job numbers. But we were set to really start reducing debt. And, we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline.
That's right. That's
and
why
we were
Trump
going to
needs
supply
4
them
more
with oil
years.
and gas. We were going to
He was
we
going
were
to do so much
make a
if
fortune.
COVID
And then
didn't get in the way.
the COVID came in and
Ruined
had to-
everything.
we really had to divert. Then what happened is when they came in, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in,
Yeah.
he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. We got over that bad period where everybody was
That's
dying
just
and
not fucking true.
it was just not a good period. Interestingly, during his administration, many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt of it. But people don't realize more people died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for almost
Are you telling
3
me
years.
more people
We had the
died during, like,
and you know that probably better than anybody. So many of
the
your
fucking
friends
1
said
year
to me,
you were
the best years
president
we've
during the
ever had in
COVID
business
pandemic?
were
More
during
people
the
died
Trump years. And
when
also
Biden was
said
president
that,
for fucking 4 years of COVID?
African-American,
Oh my God! You don't say.
Hispanic American
You don't fucking
were so
say.
incredible. They were having the best
Idiot.
Asian American women, men,
Oh my God!
young people
Fucking
without a
idiot.
diploma, young people that graduated from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School, from all of the great colleges, Harvard.
Yeah, I know my pits are great.
They were
right?
doing
Yeah.
better, and people without a diploma were doing better. and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and
Sure.
we had the problem is they spent trillions and trillions of dollars. They wasted. They shouldn't have taken any money, and we wouldn't be having inflation right now, which is killing our country.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I should probably say something about like maybe my views on
The woke vampires.
climate change
Yeah.
and oil and gas, because I think it's probably different from what most people would assume. Because my views are actually pretty, I think, moderate in this regard, which is that I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry and the people that have worked very hard in those industries to provide the necessary energy to support the economy. And if we were to stop using oil and gas right now, we would all be starving, and the economy would collapse. So it's I don't think it's right to sort of vilify the oil and gas industry, the world has a certain demand for oil and gas, and it's probably better if the United States provides that than some other countries, and it would help with prosperity in the U.S. And at the same time, obviously, my view is like we do over time want to move to a sustainable energy economy, because eventually you do run out of. I mean, you run out of oil and gas. It's not there for. It's not infinite. And there is some risk. I think the risk is not as high as a lot of people say it is with respect to global warming. But I think
Sir, what is the point?
if you just keep increasing the parts per million in the atmosphere long enough, eventually it actually simply gets uncomfortable to breathe. People don't realize this. If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea.
Oh, is this
and so
possible climate change?
We're now in the sort of 400 range. We're adding, I think, about
You don't
roughly
say.
2 parts per million per year. So I mean, it still gives us. So what it means is like we still have quite a bit of time, but so there's not like we don't need to rush, and we don't need to like stop farmers from farming, or you know prevent people from having steaks or
Right.
basic stuff
Right.
like that. Like you can leave the farmers alone.
I agree.
in
How
my
crazy
opinion.
is that? Where
I mean,
you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle, and the whole world is
yeah,
a
that's
little
silly.
crazy. But it's largely taken its lead
Who's
from
attacking the
us.
farmers?
I do say though, I've heard in terms of the fossil fuel, because
Who
even to
who is
create
attacking the
your electric
farmers?
car and create
No,
the
that's not
electricity
fucking
needed
happening.
for the electric car, fossil fuel is what really creates that at the generating plants. And so you
Me,
sort
I'm
of can't get
attacking the
away from
farmers.
it at this moment. I mean, someday you might be able to, but I do hear we have anywhere from
Oh,
100
they're
to
European
500
protests.
years left.
Well,
Much of it hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah.
But there are tremendous, like Anwar. I got Anwar in Alaska approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Everybody tried. Nobody could do it. I got it approved. The first thing that Biden did was unimprove to get rid of it. He
Unimprove
ended
it.
it. His secretary went in and she ended it. And what a disgrace. That's Anwar. That's bigger, or they think it could be bigger than Saudi Arabia in Alaska. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But they went in and they terminated it, and I'll get it going
would
very
you say
quickly.
Biden has a
because
stupid face, Mr.
not only
President?
is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the same size, and pure, really good stuff.
Who's
And,
they?
they end it. So I think we have, perhaps hundreds of years left. Nobody really knows. But during that time, something
my
will
estimate,
come around that will be
yeah.
very good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my estimate would be, a little more aggressive than that, but it's not the sort of like we're all going to die in 5 years stuff. That's obviously BS. But I mean, my view is like if you just look at sort of the parts
one's
per
saying
million
that either,
that increments every year, you get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. I mean, I think some of that it's problematic if it accelerates, if you start going from 2 or 3
Right.
to say 5, and then there may be some situations where you get
That's a good point, Elon.
just a step change increase in the CO2,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we don't want to get too close to 1,000 ppm, because like that's actually makes it uncomfortable to breathe. Like just existing in 1,000 ppm CO2 is uncomfortable. That's like that's considered like an industrial hazard.
Right.
Just so it's that's actually, you start getting headaches and stuff. So even
We should call
without global
headaches
warming,
woke.
it's not comfortable to live in. So you don't want to get too close to that. But I mean, I think we've got. I think we want to just move over and and if I don't know, 50 to 100 years from now,
I'd like to move on.
yeah, we're I don't know, mostly sustainable. I think that'll probably be okay. Um, so it's not like the house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to move towards. And on on balance, it's probably better to move there faster than slower. But like I said, without vilifying the oil and gas industry, and without causing hardship in the short term, I think this can be done. Um, without but people can still have a stake, and they can still
I'm sorry, I've
drive
completely
gasoline
lost the
cars,
plot.
and
I've completely lost the
it's
plot.
it's okay. It's like it's not.
What are you
I don't
actually
think we should vilify
proposing?
people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability. And I actually think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries. So because obviously the sun doesn't
Solar
shine
power
at
sounds
night,
great.
and then you use that to charge the electric cars, and you have a long-term sustainable solution.
Bring up Cybertruck.
And that's what Tesla's trying to move things towards, and I think we've made
Bring
a
up
lot of
Cybertruck.
progress in that regard. But when you look at our cars, we don't believe that environmentalism, that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're
Our cars
fast,
and
they're sexy. I mean, they're cool. In fact, literally, I made this sexy joke: Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Y spells out sexy. It was probably the most expensive joke out there.
that
But
sucks.
I
Talk
just
about
I
the
don't know, I
truck.
like cheesy humor, So
Yeah, we
um,
know.
but I'm not, I'm a big fan of, like, let's have an inspiring future, and
Yeah.
let's work towards a better future,
He's edging us
and,
so
and
hard.
and we can do so without demonizing
Right.
people.
I'm okay.
You know.
It's very interesting. You use the word global warming, and today they use the word climate change because you have some places that go up, and so they were getting
Fuck
themselves in a
me.
little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some
We were
places are
so
going the
close.
opposite direction.
We were
But
so fucking close. That's why I'm still
I'm
playing.
sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars, and it just seems like something that at some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first.
You're a very
But it
smart
would
man.
seem that a solar panel on the roofs, on flat surfaces, on certain surfaces might be good,
Yeah.
at least in certain areas of the country where you have the world
Sure.
where you have the sun. But I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But
It's not
the
a
one
bad
thing that
point.
I don't understand is that people talk about global warming or they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming.
Oh my
And
God,
to
and you
me,
lost it.
that's an immediate
You
problem.
had something there.
Because you have, as I said, 5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some
Lost it.
others are
Lost the
getting
plot.
there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American
I was with you on
president.
like
You
solar
just-
panels on cars.
You
Like,
don't want to
hey,
have
that's
this proliferation.
not crazy.
But you have 5 countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner than people think. They're way lower. Russia and us are number 1, and I mean, we're sort of tied. And China is far behind, but they're developing at a level that you're not surprised to hear very fast. They'll end up catching up, maybe even
Yeah.
surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The power of nuclear is so great. And when I talk
Yeah.
about
Nuclear power is underrated. It's
I'll
awesome.
prevent World War
Yeah.
III, I will. But the truth is
Who
that
is saying this?
you have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is
Yeah.
a level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
I don't think this is real, dude.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad side of
Nuclear
nuclear,
warfare
which
is
is nuclear
underrated.
war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation
Absolutely.
is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I mean, I'm not trying to pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining operation. And there's a certain number of injuries and deaths per year. And you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source, and I think it's something that's worth reconsidering. But there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that
maybe they'll have
sort
to
of
change the
have
name.
it.
The name is just, it's a rough name. There are some areas like
Yeah, it's a rough
when
name.
you see what happened in
Good bad
right.
branding. The
We'll have to
branding's rough.
rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name. We'll name it after you or something.
Mm.
No, it has it has a branding problem. When you see what happened,
It does have a branding problem.
when you see what happened in Japan,
You're just very
where they
cool,
say you
Mr.
won't be
Musk.
able to go on the land for about 3,000 years. Did you ever see that? And in Russia, where they had the problem, where they, there's a lot of bad things happened, and they have a problem. And they say that in 2,000 years, people will start to occupy the land again. You realize it's pretty bad.
No,
but,
that's not true.
But you're right
no,
about it. It's amazing.
It's actually not that bad. So like after Fukushima happened in Japan, like people were asking me in California, are
Yes, he
we
was
worried
talking
about
about
nuclear
Chernobyl.
cloud coming from Japan? I'm like, no,
Said
that's crazy.
very bad things
it's
happen.
actually, it's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate locally grown vegetables on TV to prove it. And I donated a solar water treatment, a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
Yeah, but you haven't
because
been
the danger
feeling
is
so well lately, and I'm worried about it.
no, but I mean,
I'm
it's
only
just,
kidding.
it's
I'm
fine, It's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So
Right.
it's
Well, that's
clearly
great.
not
That's
something that
That's
um,
great.
so it's not as scary as people think, basically.
Yeah.
But let's see. I mean, are there some other topics we should touch on? Like
Trump's joke
lawfare.
was
I
better than
think,
anything
Well,
Elon's ever said.
we need to be concerned about.
What they've done to this country.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just won the big
I mean,
case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. And the big case in Florida we won, but they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use local DAs, they use the local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled Fani, Fani, and it's all a big hoax, and it's all run from there. Like in Manhattan, one of the top people from the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before, and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare.
What case is this?
It's a terrible thing.
I kind of missed the
never happened in our
start
country.
of this.
It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this, where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you
did not win the case in Florida.
fight for
That's
election
outstanding,
integrity,
if
and
true.
you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what happens? What happens is they
Classified
went after
documents
their
case in
political
Florida.
opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him? The guy could barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this looks good because it looks so bad. And
You keep bashing
it's
Biden?
ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing that for a long
Again,
time.
you're
he
not
can't
running
lift
against
the chair.
him,
The chair weighs
right?
about 3 ounces. It's meant for children.
He's not your opponent.
And old people to lift. And he can't lift it. The whole thing is crazy.
Well, he's clearly. I mean, he's clearly like we just don't have a president.
You can't make fun of Biden for being old when you're like 3 years behind him.
Is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco, and then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about location, and we're talking about the sun and the water and all.
He still thinks he's the opponent.
There's nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California. What she has done to California is, well, you know better than I do. You just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states now you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out
that's not
again.
a thing that happens, sir.
Our country is
They don't
becoming
let
a
you
very
out right away
dangerous
when you
place.
kill someone in any
and
state.
she is a radical left
But-
San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump.
Yeah.
I want a wall.
I think that's,
she wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really bad.
right.
That just came
Yeah, I
out
just saw
today.
that.
She doesn't want to build the wall, even though the walls work. Walls and wheels. You know, in your business, everything you do is obsolete. Almost, well,
Still
not
on
the
those
tunnels,
walls.
but everything is obsolete. Even your rocket ships, they're like a month later, they're obsolete. You find a better way to. The only thing that's not obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall, you know, I built hundreds of miles of wall. And that's why we had such good numbers.
Sorry.
I was going to add 200 miles. We bought it. We could have flipped it up in 3 weeks, and they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar.
Hundreds of miles
That meant,
of wall.
I said, wow, that means that they actually do want to have open borders. She wants to have open borders, and now she's going like she's tough on the border. It's such a lie.
Yeah, this is simply not true. This is simply not true.
No, and everybody knows
it's
it's not true. It's a disgrace that she can say it.
No, I mean, obviously, what's happening sort of overnight is they're rewriting history and making Kamala sound like a moderate when in fact she is far left, like far left.
Worse than Bernie Sanders. She is considered more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic, and if she's going to be our president, very quickly you're not going to have a country anymore.
Oh, yeah?
And she'll go back to all of the things that she believes in. She believes in defunding the police. She believes in no fracking, zero. Now all of a sudden she's saying, no, I really want to see fracking. If they got in, the day she got in, she'll end fracking. And by the way, if people didn't think that, the lunatics that really believe in that, they won't vote for her. You know, like the Palestinians and Israel. She is so anti-Israel, and she's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, you know, both sides. That was a hard thing to do, unification.
Yeah, no. I mean, Netanyahu came to give a talk to a joint Senate and House sitting, and I was there, and Kamala stood him up. You know, what does that say?
I think it's highly disrespectful. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, you know, is very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined. And you see tonight, I mean, as we're doing this, I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight or tomorrow from hundreds and maybe thousands of rockets. You know, their Iron Dome, as they call it, as we all call it, but their shield that they build, that can be swamped. We'll use the term that's appropriate, swamped. But they swamp it by shooting enough missiles. You know this better than anybody. By shooting enough missiles, they can't defend themselves. You know, they just obliterate the whole place. And that's what some people think they're looking to do. And we have no leadership. There's no respect for the United States of America with these people. And I'm telling you, she'll be worse than him because she's a believer in being radical left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, you really,
Would you
it's
call her
important
woke?
for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, you know, before the last month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent moderate, you definitely would not agree with it, because it is her behavior has been far left, and we're seeing just an overnight propaganda attempt to rewrite history and make it sound like Kamala's moderate when she in fact is not moderate.
Well, her running mate approved, signed into legislation, tampons in boys' bathrooms. Okay? Now, that's all I have to hear. Tampons in boys' bathrooms.
Let's go.
And that means she believes in that, too. I mean, she
not
picked
okay.
this guy because he was the closest to her. A lot of people thought she'd pick sort of the opposite, but she picked an anti-Israel, radical left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as a president, I don't think our country can survive.
You mentioned that, and that's just
I think
okay.
it's a massive.
I will take those chances.
I think we're in massive trouble, frankly, with the Kamala administration, and that's my honest opinion. Um, and uh, and I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country for this election. And I mean that's I'm just stating my opinion. Um, Now you know you may have seen this, but I got a letter from the EU Commission, like saying, to not have disinformation on
Yeah, we can count that as
during this
trans mention.
discussion that we're having. There's a lot of attempts to do censorship and to force censorship, even on Americans from other countries. And
Mark trans mention.
what do you think
Do you have
about
it?
that?
Well, I know the
Let's go. Come on, cancel
European
culture next.
Union very well. They take great advantage of the United States in trade, as you know. We, through a different forum, NATO, we protect them, and yet if you build a car in the United States, you can't sell it in Europe. You just can't sell it. It's impossible. The same thing with our farmers. Our farmers find it very difficult to do business. We have a deficit with them of $250 billion, which people don't know. It sounds so nice, the European Union, but let me tell you, they're not as tough as China, but they're bad. And I let them know it. And that's probably why they notified you. No, they don't treat our country well. We defend them, with Ukraine. So we're in for 250 billion, and they're in for about 71 billion, and they have the same size. If you add up the European nations that in terms of an economy, it's about the same size. When you say as us, and they're in, and they're in much greater risk. They're right there. We have an ocean separating us from. In this case, the enemy would be Russia. It used to be for the Soviet Union, but let's assume they're close enough. And what happens is they're in for 70-something million. I think even less than that, billion, and we're in for about 250 billion, and it could be a lot higher than
It did
that.
indeed used to be the Soviet
And I say,
Union.
why aren't you going to equalize? Why aren't they paying what we're paying? And they're in much more, it's much more important for them because of the fact that, they're right near there. I mean, they're all sort of in that location. We're not. But they should, and I did it with NATO. There were only 7 countries that were paid up in NATO out of 28 at the time. And the United States was the United States was subsidizing NATO, tremendously subsidizing NATO. And I said, I went in and I said, you got to pay up. If you don't pay up, we're not going to defend you any longer. I took a lot of heat, but you know what happened?
Nessa, I agree
Billions
with
and
you.
billions of dollars came flowing in.
It's getting a little painful.
Yeah, I think a lot of the public isn't aware of the fact that the United States pays a disproportionate share of the NATO expenses.
And then we get
even though,
taken advantage of on trade. So think about it.
Well, I mean, the point of NATO is defending Europe, and it's it's like, then okay, well, why is the United States paying disproportionately more to defend Europe than Europe? That doesn't make sense. That's unfair, and that is an appropriate thing to address.
Well, when you talk about cost cutting and savings and everything else, I mean, honestly, look, there's nobody that feels worse about the Ukraine situation than I do, because I know it would have never happened. I know Zelensky. He was very honorable to me, because when they went with the Russia hoax and they said I had a phone call with him, he said it was a perfect phone call. It was a great phone call.
You literally said Ukraine was Putin's the apple of his eye.
He said, no, it was a very nice phone call. I called him up to congratulate him on his win, and you end up getting impeached because these people are lunatics. I was talking about the difference from the people within and the enemies on the outside. In many cases, the people from within are more dangerous for our country than the Russias and the Chinas. If you have a smart president, you're not going to have a problem with them. You're going to do things.
Yeah.
Is that what
Now,
you
they've
are?
taken
You're a smart
advantage of
president?
us incredibly, but you're going to do things
hell.
with the right person.
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly, with
Poor
with
Trump.
false attacks, and you didn't
Poor
try
guy.
to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech. And I
Yes,
think that
because
says a
otherwise
lot.
you'd be a dictator
Well,
if you
the
did.
good thing is that
What?
you and I have, and some
You
people,
could have
very
shut those
few,
haters down, Mr. Trump.
we can get the
and you
word
didn't.
out.
And that's why I
Although
respect
sometimes it's hard because they
What
don't
are you
want to
fucking
print
talking
it,
about?
like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not
No.
smart. You know, she's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said, "Where am I? Where am I going?" So anyway, but
Yeah,
no, he wouldn't have this.
that's true.
Again,
Not a
not
lot of people
running.
would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of
Did
territory.
he say cancel culture?
But the beauty is that
was it mentioned?
we can have a conversation, and
I don't know.
Yes, you
I'm
can actually
able
have
to
a
get it out without because I get
Bro,
treated
you can
unfairly.
barely
This
have
is
this
a really
conversation.
big point.
Agreed.
You can actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like not. It's not possible.
That's it's
So this is like talking to an NPC.
No.
So it's just impossible.
well, but think of it. We need a
Oh my
man
God. Yeah,
or
Trump knows what
person
an NPC
who's
is. Oh, Jesus Christ.
unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear dangers.
This is
all
just
the
a circle
dangers that
jerk.
I'm talking about.
This isn't even a
And
conversation.
I got along with all these. I
This
got
is
along
like-
with Kim Jong Un. We had dinner. We had.
Why are you
everything.
flexing
And
that you get
he
along with Kim
really
Jong
liked
Un?
me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. A lot of people said, "Oh, do you think he really?"
That's for
Let
sure.
me tell you.
Yeah, he's a
saw
dictator.
things
Of course
that
he's
you
the
don't
fucking
wanna know
boss.
about. He is the boss. But we had a good relationship, and
Oh,
he
my
doesn't
God.
like Biden. He considers him a stupid man. He said he's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it. But I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it
Yeah.
if it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now, Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating or
No, it's
even
silly. It would be
standing
silly.
together? It is the whole concept is
Why?
ridiculous.
Why?
She is terrible. She's terrible.
Why?
But she's getting a free ride. I
It
saw a
would-
picture of her
Yeah.
on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing, and actually,
Yeah.
she looked very much like our great First Lady.
Are you
Melania.
crushing on her, Trump?
She looked,
Ooh,
she
you're like,
she didn't
ooh.
look-
Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
She looked like Kamala to
Yeah,
me.
well, maybe
I saw the cover.
I think part of what people in America want to, people in America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the
It's true.
future is going to be better than the past, and that America is going to do things that are greater than we've done in the past, reach
Right.
new heights that make you proud to be an American, and excited about the future.
They want the
And,
American
I think
dream
this-
back. They want the American dream back. More important than anything else.
Yeah, that's what will happen
it's
if we vote
like-
for you, right?
You don't
Right, Trump.
have that today because the people they've been just
Why
sucked.
not?
They see incompetent people running our. The Biden thing is
I'm
very
hearing
interesting.
incompetent
People
people.
just found him to be incompetent, and when I debated him, I was like,
Why do you keep bringing up the
"Is
fucking
this
debate?
for real?" It was.
Yeah, it's just it was.
You're
just
not debating
absurd.
him anymore, dude.
But I think there are like some grand projects that we could do. I mean, I think like we could build a base on the moon. We could send American astronauts to Mars. We
Right.
could build high speed connections that are more advanced than anything else in the world between our cities, so people have
Fuck
fast
me,
transport.
dude.
It's possible to solve traffic with tunnels.
That's right.
We've we already made great progress in Vegas doing that, and and just do things that are exciting and inspiring and make the future feel like it's better than the past.
Well, I saw
And,
what
like,
you did in Vegas, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. I got to see. I took a big glimpse at it, and it's incredible. What
glimpse.
it's incredible, and you could do that all over. You could do that
He,
all
didn't take
over.
a he took a big glimpse at it.
It's deep.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
that's-
even need much structure, assuming you're in the right areas.
No, it's straightforward.
It's amazing.
So like I think we could do some things that like China's got incredible high speed rail between its cities, but I think it's actually possible with tunnels if with deregulation with an ability to actually where it's like legal to
What the
actually
fuck are we
do
talking
the
about
tunnels. I think you could have high speed tunnels that are actually better than anything else in the world for high speed transport.
Also, the
between
one in Vegas
cities.
doesn't even work.
And that would be something that Americans can say, "Wow, okay, we've got something that's cooler than anyone else in the
Yeah.
world." That's the kind of thing that makes you proud to be an
Sounds
American.
like a
Much
pipe dream.
safer than surface trains, where there is a danger there. With people, with crazy
Yeah.
people. It's much safer.
Those crazy
much
people on
better.
trains. We won't
And,
have crazy
it's
people
sad
in
because
tunnels.
I've seen some of the greatest trains. I find it fascinating,
Oh my
and I've seen
God.
the systems and how they work, and the bullet trains they call them, I guess. and
Yeah.
they
Yep,
go
that's what they're called.
unbelievably fast,
Yep.
unbelievably comfortable, with no problems. And we don't have anything like that in this country, not even close. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense that we don't. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I think also like there's, I'm kind of hopping on the excess regulation, but I think something that um that I think people
Amtrak
can generally
shaking and
understand
crying
is
right
that
now.
what happens with laws and regulations is that there's more and more of them every year, and unless
These
there's a
bullet
process
trains,
to
they
clean them
have
up, eventually everything
Brad
becomes
Pitt.
You're right.
illegal, and that
Very
actually
fun.
it slows down the development of new technologies. I mean, if you take the sort of like I think there's room for some reform at the FDA
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
improving the speed with which we approve drugs that could help save lives and improve people's
Yeah.
lives.
I worked very hard
And
on that.
you know that,
We got that
yeah,
down to the lowest number ever, and we got therapeutics approved in the FDA that people can't even believe the speed. But I took them on. I don't think they like me too much, but I got things approved in the FDA at numbers that they wouldn't believe. And it's a very
It's the best
bureaucratic
numbers.
group. Actually, it's a fine group of people in many cases. I got to know a lot of them, but I was pushing them really hard for Regeneron, for so many different things that were really pretty amazing. But the FDA takes too long. It's 12 years to get a product approved. I got it down to 4, and I
yeah,
got some things done very quickly. But it's really something that is going to have to be worked on because it takes too long. Just takes too
He's
long.
speaking in
yeah.
so many
It
general
just takes too
terms,
long, and it's you end up in the same
like he always
with
does.
the approval, but it just it takes years instead of something that I think could potentially take
Yeah.
months, and that improves people's lives. I
Yeah.
think
It was
and
not much
but
a problem.
I just wanted to sort of hop on this point that like there has to be an active process for reducing rules and regulations, because otherwise they just keep building up every year, and
Yep.
you get like hardening of the arteries, and eventually everything's illegal or takes forever, and then we just we just ossify as a society. Uh, we can't make any
Yeah.
progress, and that's it's a really big
Well,
deal.
Elon, just
So
getting back to the FDA for 1 second, I got something done called Right to Try. This is where you can go in and, if you're terminally ill, you can use a space age, medicine or whatever it may be. We have the best doctors, the best labs in the world. We really do. And but people would go to other countries because you couldn't use the product, even if they thought it worked, because it's going through the FDA.
Come here.
I got it approved
yeah,
where you can
yeah,
you basically you look, nobody wanted, the doctors didn't want it because of the liability, the country didn't want it, our country, because they didn't want to get sued. These are people terminally ill. The insurance companies didn't want it, and the pharmaceutical companies, nobody wanted it. I got everybody into a room, and we came up with an agreement that you won't get sued. And also, they didn't want it on their record. If somebody's terminally ill and they die after taking a drug, they didn't want that on their record. So we set a separate list. If somebody was, so it wouldn't count as a negative.
yeah,
Okay. And as you know, we got it
yeah,
done. We have saved Right to Try. They've been trying to get this done for 58
yeah,
years. And it sounds simple, but it wasn't, because, I mean, the insurance companies, nobody wanted it, but we got it done.
sure,
Somebody you sign a document that you're not going to sue the insurance companies, the country, you're not going to sue anybody. And we got it done. And we're saving tens of thousands of lives. Right to Try. Hopefully you never need it. But if you
yeah,
do, you don't have to travel to Asia. People,
right,
if they had money, they go to
yeah,
Asia, they go
sure,
to Europe. If they don't have money, they go home and die. That's what happened. They'd go home and
yeah.
die.
Well, I mean, and actually, to give Europe some props here, it's like if a drug is
I hate
approved
this.
in Europe, which has a crazy amount of regulations, it should obviously be approved in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
they
talking
have
about
more
BBLs,
regulations
by the
than
way.
we
Is
do.
that right, Jules?
So why would a drug be approved in Europe and not in the U.S.? That's crazy.
Well, we did it. We
Um,
did something that really, they've been trying to do it for 50 years, and they just couldn't get it done, and I got it done. And it's really something. But you're right. Some people go to Europe because a drug isn't approved here, but it's approved in Europe, and it's a drug that, generally speaking, would
yeah,
work. It's pretty crazy. So you're
absolutely.
Drums
right.
sucking.
And
Oh
I
my
think so,
god.
as long as people are properly informed of the pros and cons, and like these are the risks, these are the risks, and like you make your own decision.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, I think just,
So
in sort of closing up, and by the way, I'm looking at the numbers. You got a lot of people listening.
A lot of people.
I hope you don't get
yeah,
nervous, because you got a lot of people listening to you right now,
I think
like
he's a little nervous.
60 million or something. what is that number? It's crazy. It's amazing how you can
What is
see
that
that
little
right
thing?
away. How
Anyways.
many? What is the number? Wow. What is it?
Well,
Wow.
I think in
Wow,
terms of people that,
that's bigger than you said. You said 25, and you're much more than double that number, 25 million. I think you're going to be 60 or 70, and I guess over a period of time. Hey, I congratulate you. Do I get paid for this or not?
well,
I mean,
I think
yeah, a
actually
lot of
in terms
people
of
are
number of people
listening.
that will hear this conversation
Was much
over
said?
the next few days to
Right.
weeks, it's going to be hundreds of
That's what they
millions.
say. Yeah, that's good. Well, look, it's an
Yeah.
honor. I just asked this: are you better off now, or were you better off when I was president? Nobody's better off now. People, we put out polls on that, and nobody's better off now. Inflation has killed it. And they also feel very unsafe. You look at what's going on with a lot of different things. You look at the riots we had at the
Yeah.
colleges over, I mean, it's ridiculous, but
Right.
all of the riots, they just feel unsafe. And now they
Oh
really
my
feel
God.
unsafe because you have a new form of crime. It's called
You know a lot
migrant
about
crime. I
riots,
call
right?
it Biden
President Trump?
migrant
Yeah.
crime.
You know
Maybe I'll
something
call
about
it
riots.
Kamala migrant crime. But
I mean, with all these things, I always try to get to the ground truth by just asking people. And my mom lives in New York.
Yeah,
and
those
I
college
was like,
students make you feel so unsafe.
Mom,
Yeah.
do you know, have any of your friends, been attacked or assaulted? And she said, yeah, three of her friends in three separate
crazy.
incidents were assaulted just in recent months, just walking around the streets of New York. And I said, well, what happened to the people that assaulted them? Oh, nothing. They got away. Like, and they just know
They
that
always get away.
nothing's going to, and they don't even bother reporting it because they know that they're not going to, people are not going to get prosecuted.
Source.
They just let
Source, I made it up.
violent criminals out in New York.
The
with,
only
with
one that
zero
gets
bail.
prosecuted is Donald Trump. They don't get.
Oh my
prosecute
God.
Trump.
Yeah, I mean,
Poor me.
it's just obviously
They
messed up.
indicted
Oh, it's
me. They
If
did.
violent
They
criminals
did.
are being getting off scot free.
I'll get rid of all the
And meanwhile,
criminals, including
New
me.
York spending massive resources prosecuting you, and it's like, what's this? And I think the sort of sensible public looks at this and says, what the heck's going on here? This is obviously abuse of the legal system. The legal system is supposed to be protecting the public from violent criminals, and it should be obviously allowing the public to make their own decision about who should be president, as opposed to some legal case.
Once they start this precedent, because this can go on with the next one. I mean, this is a very bad precedent what they're doing in terms of going after their political opponent, and that's all it is. It's going after their political opponent, and
And also
and then
the
you get a
crimes
judge who's
you've committed.
a strong Democrat, and I'm being nice when I say that. In many cases,
Say
crooked
woke.
as hell. But you get a judge, and you go into an area where a Republican gets 3 or 4% of the vote, and you'll have a jury pool
Yeah.
with people that hate Republicans or hate. It could
Sure.
also be the other way, though,
Of course.
because it could start the other way in areas where they hate
Exactly.
Democrats, and you get into a
Yep.
Pandora's box. It's a very dangerous thing for this country, and a very dangerous thing even for the state. New York City is
Yep,
losing. New York
absolutely.
City and state lose a lot of business over what they did to me, because these people say, we don't want that to happen to us. That's no justice
That's not
system.
fucking
You have an
true, dude.
unfair system of
Yes.
justice,
Oh my
and
God.
it's costing New York State
'Cause you're
a
not a criminal, right,
tremendous
dude?
amount of money. People are leaving and companies are leaving, and they won't come back. So all of that stuff is important. But the economy now is the big thing, and we can turn that economy up so fast, and people are going to be back again. We're going to get rid of
Yeah,
inflation.
I think there's a lot of
Okay.
opportunity.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
And I just want to
I
want to
think,
congratulate you. You've done an amazing job. You have definitely got a fertile mind. We can talk. You and I can talk about rockets.
it's kind of you to say. Thank
Well,
you.
tunnels. We can talk about tunnels and rockets and electric cars. So many things. And now you're into the AI, and that's going to be another beauty.
The AI.
So it's
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing you've done, Elon. It's an amazing thing, and I
Well,
congratulate
Trump
you.
literally thought Kamala used
thank you.
AI
Well, I mean,
in a
just
photo.
to say here, here's to an exciting,
So, yeah, he
inspiring
loves
future
AI.
that people can look forward to and be optimistic and excited about what happens next. And that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate
No.
that endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. And, you know, we have a phrase, make America great again. It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again. And we can do it. We can do it now, but if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years, I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. We have to do a lot of things.
I think that's a very real risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
That's a very real risk.
I am willing to take that risk,
and,
baby.
You know, I'd just like to note to people
Fucking
listening,
hell.
like, I've not been very political before, and if you look at my record, I've actually been. I'm not like some they try to paint me as like a far right guy, which is absurd because I'm like making electric
It's not
vehicles
absurd.
and,
I fucking
you know,
read your
solar and
tweets,
batteries
weirdo,
helping with
and the shit you
environment.
like and the shit you
And,
respond to.
and
Yeah, dude.
Actually, I
Concerning.
you know, I
Interesting.
supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president.
Oh,
and,
wow, what a good guy.
You know, so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed-in-the-wool long-term Republican. I'd call myself, you know, historically a moderate Democrat. But now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, and you know, I think a lot of people thought, you know, the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not, and obviously, we were just going to see an even further left administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. I mean, she was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. You can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. You know, that's how she was brought up. So, and we want to have a future that is prosperous. And I think we're just at this critical juncture, and I think this is a case of
your dad in the room.
America is going to at a fork in the road, and
true.
And I think it will take the path to, like you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. That's my honest opinion. I'm
the
gonna get
path to
attacked like crazy.
prosperity.
You know, I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself, but I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before, and I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left, and
Slightly,
so this
fuck
is people
off.
out there who are in the moderate camp
Slightly
to say
left?
I think you should support
You want to ban
Donald Trump for
cis?
president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Well, I want to thank you, and you know, I actually always did think of you as somewhat left. I must say that. So
What the fuck is happening?
It's even more of an honor to have your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it. But you know, when you think of her, San Francisco, 15 years ago, I had a great friend, Bob Tish. He said it's the greatest city in America, and now it's almost not livable there. And California likewise. And she was involved in the destruction of San Francisco and the destruction of California. And she will be involved in the destruction of our country if people are so unwise as to elect her. And I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope the elections are going to be run honestly. And we're going to turn this country around. We're going to do things and we can do it fairly quickly. And we have to get rid of the criminals.
If she wins, it'll be
given to us by other countries as they laugh. They laugh at us. They think we're stupid.
We think you're weird too, actually.
These are radical, stone cold killers in many cases, and terrorists. And they're in our country by the hundreds of thousands.
Talk about those terrorists,
Don. We have to take them out.
Get them out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if I could summarize it, perhaps, you know, I think these are issues that I think most people in America would agree with, which is that we want safe and clean cities. We want secure
it's rigged, but only
borders.
feathers. Exactly.
We want sensible government spending. We want to restore both the perception and reality of respect in the judicial system. Just, you know, stop the lawfare, and I think that's like. And how are those even right-wing positions? I think those are that's just common sense, and that's. I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. I don't understand, you know, they call it progressive. They don't like the word liberal anymore, but call it liberal or progressive. I don't understand how somebody could say that it's okay for them to empty prisons into our country. And again, I told you, their crime rates all over the world are going way down, which makes sense. In fact, the next time what we'll do is if something happens with this election, which would be a horror show, we'll meet the next time in Venezuela because it'll be a far safer place to meet than our country.
Fucking
Okay, so we'll
hell.
go. You and I will go, and we'll have a meeting
get
and dinner
married in
in
Venezuela.
Venezuela, because that's what's happening. Their crime rate's coming down, and our crime rate's going through the roof. And it's so simple. And you haven't seen anything yet, because these people have come into our country and they're just
Oh,
getting
yeah.
acclimated.
Fearmonger,
And
baby. Let's
they
go.
don't
You haven't
know
seen
about
anything
being
yet.
politically correct law enforcement or lack of law enforcement. And our police, I have to just end with this. We have great police. We have great law enforcement, but they're not allowed to do their job. They have to be able to do their
Yeah.
job without being destroyed.
Well,
We have to let police kill
absolutely,
people.
and it's obviously demoralizing if you're a police officer risking your life to arrest violent criminals who could kill you and do kill you sometimes, and then you arrest the violent criminal
Sometimes
and
they
then
kill
the DA doesn't prosecute and that's let the guy out.
Right.
Well, then like why should a police officer risk their life to arrest a violent felon?
Well, even worse,
if
Elon,
nothing's going to happen.
even worse, they prosecute the police officer. They go after it and they prosecute the police officer, and they take away his pension, they take away his
Yeah.
job, he loses his family, he
Oh, my
loses his
God.
house.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well,
Thank you,
I thought
Rockspot.
it was
Damn,
very
that's
telling,
crazy.
like incredibly
Oh.
telling that.
Damn, that's
when
crazy.
There was that case where.
Damn, that's crazy.
These police
sort of a gang of
officers.
Damn,
thugs
that's
beat up,
crazy.
Okay.
police officers. I think it was in Times
Yep.
Square in New York, and then nothing happened to those guys. They were let out, zero bail, and I think a bunch of them were given free tickets to California.
These police
Well, what
officers,
is-
they'll
I mean,
kill
that is
unarmed civilians.
That is a gross
and then they get
indignity
punished
against
for it.
the United
It's terrible.
States, and
It's happening to
that's
our beautiful police
This
officers.
is insane. Like, have we lost all pride? How can such a thing be allowed to occur?
I've never seen anything. We see where they get shot. It's a very dangerous profession, but it's something they're very proud of, and they want to be able to do their job. But I've seen them get shot. I've seen a lot of things. But I've never seen where these guys are standing in the middle of a big street, everybody watching them, and they're literally boxing, like punching, stand-up fighting, a police officer. There were two of them, and you had about six of these guys, and they're punching the hell out of them. And in their own country, they would be dead if they did that. They'd be shot.
Wow.
They would be shot instantly.
In their own country.
And they come from these countries, and it's
Oh
taking
my
them a while to realize
God.
that we don't do that in this country. But in their own country,
That's
if
blatant
they
as
stood
fuck,
on
right?
a
Like,
street
come on.
and had a fight with a police officer,
Jesus
they would be
Christ.
shot. There's no political correctness, and it's such a sad,
it's
it's such
Oh,
a sad
wow.
thing to see. And that's the reason you have crime, by the way, because we don't do anything about it.
Yeah, we just cannot have a situation where our police officers are beaten up on camera by a gang of illegal immigrants, and then nothing happens to the guys that beat up the cops. I mean, and they're let out. This is unacceptable.
Well, we're going to change it, and we're going to get them out of the country. When I first got involved, they said you couldn't get them back to these countries. You couldn't take them back. In the case of Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, some others, you couldn't get them back. And I said, really? Oh, you can't get them back? Because under Obama, he couldn't get them back. They'd fly them in, and they'd put planes on the runways in these countries so you couldn't land a plane. They'd bring them back. And the generals told me, sir, we can't bring them back. The countries won't accept MS-13 gang members. They won't accept them. And I said, really, how much do we pay these various countries in terms of economic aid, which is also somewhat ridiculous? And the answer was $750 million.
Jules, I wish there were
said, good.
video,
Tell
too.
them they're
So
in
badly.
default.
So
they're
badly. This would have
delinquent.
benefited
We're
so
not
much
going to
with
do.
video.
We're not paying them anymore because they won't accept
cases
it.
are so
And you know what
boring.
happened? They all called me,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
one of them. They said, we would be honored to take them back, sir. We would be honored. It was so easy. But it's one of those things. And we got them back. We took in so many. The MS-13 is probably the worst gangs in the world. They're the most vicious, violent. We took them out of here by the thousands and got them out of here. And their countries took them back. And because I said, you're not
You
getting
and I
any more
lie.
economic aid. And once I said that, they were nice. They wouldn't take them back for Obama.
Yeah.
They wouldn't take them back for anybody. And now we have a problem because we have this guy, and they don't take him back anymore with Biden because they don't respect him.
Yeah. It's just gotta be done. We just can't have whether they're citizens or not citizens. We can't have, because they won't prosecute citizens either, not just illegals. So if you can't have violent, repeat violent offenders that are not that don't get incarcerated.
That's right.
Because they will obviously, by definition, continue to hurt people. And I think where part of this comes from is that there's and I do sort of consider myself liberal in some ways. I mean, it's just that you
Yeah,
want to
he's
have
very liberal.
empathy for
Right.
people. Obviously, you want to have empathy for people. I totally agree with that. You want to have empathy, but you also have to have empathy for the victims of the criminals. And if you just have empathy for the criminals, it's actually shallow empathy. It's not real. You're not thinking. You're not.
Thank you, Kai. Very
You're
true.
one layer deep empathy. You got to say like, what if you don't incarcerate this person? Who are they going
Today I
to
learned Elon's liberal. Do you guys know that?
hurt? Who are they might kill someone. They might rape someone. If you don't incarcerate them, you have to have empathy for the victims. And there's a lack of empathy for the victims of the criminals, and too much empathy for the criminals. It doesn't make sense. That's why you want to have deep empathy for
I
society as a
don't think
whole,
that's the
not
issue at
shallow
all.
empathy for
That's right.
criminals.
And we have to give our police officers the dignity and the respect that they deserve.
Don't
And we
think
have to
that's
let
the
them do
issue
their
at
job.
all.
They can do a great job, but we have to let them do their job. And if we don't do that, it's going to all disappear. There's never been a society like this where you're allowed
Elon's
to
pronouns
do
are
anything you want
liberal.
and nothing happens. And I'm talking about violent crime. And it's going to
Oh,
get
Elon's
more
an
violent
empath. You
because
wouldn't
these
get
are
it, Jack.
really,
Fuck, okay.
really violent people. And
That's
we're
kinda
going to
cool.
get them
Damn.
out of our country, and we're going to get them back to where, because they were sent here by the presidents and by the various people that run those countries. And I know every one of those guys. And they're smart people, and they're streetwise people. And they really think that the USA is stupid. They think we're run by stupid people, and they happen to be right. But when I was there, we had
4
no
years ago we
problem. We
were.
got them out. We took out thousands of MS-13 gang members. We brought them back. And now, again, it's the same old story. We don't do it. And they actually gave them a big increase in aid. They raised it up to billions of dollars, and they get nothing for it. So, I hope everybody's going to vote for Trump, and we're going to get this country straight.
Yeah.
And I didn't need this.
I-
I'm like you. I didn't need this. I had a very nice
Yeah.
life. I didn't need to go
Yeah,
through
yeah.
court systems and go through all the other stuff and
Oh,
run
buddy,
at
you're
the same
not
time.
done.
I have to run.
You're not
I have to
done
go
going
through
court
fake
systems.
trials with, in some cases,
actually real
corrupt
trials.
judges, totally corrupt judges. I didn't need it. I had
Judges
a
are
nice
real.
life. I have great locations. I have beautiful oceans that I have places. This was, but I
What the
felt it
fuck
was
are you
important.
talking
And
about?
if I had to do it over again,
I don't know.
you probably think I'm
think
crazy
they
for
said
doing it,
aliens,
actually. But
Sky.
if I had to do it over again, I would have
Oh,
done it over
oceans.
again,
I thought you
because
said lotions.
This is so much more important.
I don't
than
think he
me or
owns
my
oceans
life.
either, but
we're going to save
sure he
this
has
country. This
lotions.
country is going down, and these people are bad people that we're running against, and they're liars. They make statements.
Bad people.
They do things that are so bad. They say they're going to make a strong
So
border. They say they've been great on the border, and they've been the worst in history. They say they're going to stop
it's terrible.
crime.
Like, the
And
facts speak for themselves.
it's
The
so
facts
incredible.
speak for themselves. Like,
You haven't said a
it's
single
gotten to
fact
the point
tonight, dude.
where people just don't even bother reporting crime in a lot of
That's
cities
right.
because they know nothing is going to happen. That's what I hear anecdotally from people all the time. So it's just my values. I'm just saying to
They do
to
things that
people
are
out
so
there,
bad.
the things I think are important for the future is like we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and
Right.
so we can have a prosperous future. And then we want to have some exciting, sort of moonshot projects that people can get fired up about, and that's the future
Like
I'm
the
looking
tunnel.
for. And I'm
More
pro
tunnels.
environment, but I'm not against. I'm not like I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry because they're keeping civilization going right now, and but I do think we want to move
What is this obsession
at
with
reasonable speed
the
towards
vilification of oil and
a
gas?
sustainable energy economy. Those are my values, and I think and so I mean that's why I'm supporting you for president.
Well, I
So,
appreciate it. We're going to give incentive to companies to come into our country, not to leave our country. We're going to be giving tremendous incentives. We want companies to build here, not to build in other locations. And we want to create jobs. And again, it's about the American dream. You don't hear
No,
about
you
the
hang
American
up.
dream anymore.
That's
Elon.
perfect,
You don't
chat.
hear. You're the American dream in the
No, you
truest
hang
sense.
up.
But you don't hear about the American
No,
dream
you're gonna
anymore.
win.
And you're going to hear about it. People, they need that incentive to go out and
yeah.
do it. and they're going to love their lives. I mean, they're going to look forward to getting up in the morning and going to a job that they love, not a job that they can't stand, or not any job at all where they have no money, where they
I wish
literally
he said
have no
Hannibal
money,
Lecter.
and then
That
they
would've
end
been
up with
great.
violence and
I
lots
would
of
have loved
other
Hannibal
problems.
Lecter one more time.
No, we're gonna do some great things, and I learned a lot in the first. We had a great economy and all of that. We rebuilt the military. We did so much, but I also learned the best people. I learned the good people, the smart people, the dumb people, the people that can do things. The people, you learn. When I first came in, I tell people I was in Washington, D.C. only 17 times, according to the fake news media. I was in 17 times. I never stayed over. And you don't know people. You rely on other people to give you names, and then you realize the people you relied on weren't so good. Now, we had great people, but we also had some where I wouldn't have, used them had I known. Now I know everybody. And I think we're going to really turn things around fast. We have no choice. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country. And I really appreciate this. Has been, to me, it's been a lot of fun being with you. You're
just don't think that's
an
true.
amazing guy. You've done an incredible job and a great inspiration to people, a great inspiration. And I hope you keep going and just continue to do well. And we're going to have a big election coming up. And I think November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. I think that election will be the most important election. And I think it'll end up being maybe the most important day in the history of our country. Because
unless it doesn't go your way, right, Trump?
I just feel so sorry for everybody.
No, I think we're at a fork in the road of destiny of civilization, and I think we need to take the right path, and I think you're the right path. So I think that's what it comes down to.
Thank you very much, Elon. It's a great honor, and we'll do it again sometime. And it's been really fun, and I hope you got a lot of viewers.
Don't do this again
I hear you got a
sometime.
lot.
This sucked. This was very interesting.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of them. So I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you very much. Bye.
No, you hang up. All right. Christ, that sucked. All right. So, let's turn this shit off. Can we marvel at this insane list of bingo spaces that have been called out? So many. We almost got to a blackout bingo. In fact, we may have gotten to I think it's time I need to honor some of the winners here if we have actual winners here. Okay. It's not guaranteed. We may have a few. So I have people on the team helping me out here to see if we have it's possible to have a blackout bingo. But we don't know if we have any actual winners here. I got annoyingly close. I really wanted a Cybertruck mention. We got, oh, dude, Elon edged us so hard with the Cybertruck thing. He talked about every other car under Tesla but the Cybertruck. That sucked. That was very annoying. This one, Hannibal Lecter, I knew that was a moonshot. That was never going to happen. But woke was never mentioned. Woke was, and that fucking shocks me. I don't know how woke was never mentioned. Oh my god. But anyways, yeah. If you have a blackout bingo, please use that code that is pinned in chat. But oh man, gamers, for those who were watching that entire time, thank you for joining me on this extremely painful call. That was just a glaze sesh. Honestly, it was a circle jerk glaze sesh. Where Elon endorsed Trump about 20 times and then also claimed to be left-leaning, which was like, okay. Didn't know that. Yeah. Anyways, vote if you can this November. Holy shit. Please vote. Please vote if you can this November. I know I will be. Man. Yeah, check to see if you're registered. And you can check to see how to register. Is it vote.org? Yeah, no black. Okay, I don't think we got any blackout bingos tonight. What I will do is I want to reward the people who are still here. I will gift let's gift some subs. I'm going to gift how about let's gift 10 subs because you guys fucking rock. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Thank you very much for people who tune in. There was a lot of chatting tonight. Many chats. Lots of chats. But can we just marvel at this there we go. Bingo board here. Like this is impressive. This was really impressive. There was both heavy cringe and general cringe, as I called it. The fist pump photo was indeed referenced. There were technical difficulties. We did add that in post. Not in post, but we did add that. I think it's warranted though. Hoax was brought up. Very weirdly racist undertones. Will this be turned into a video? Yeah, for sure. I plan on posting this either on Jack is a Nerd or jacksfilms. You know. Since it is technically a reaction video, but I'm gonna have it cleaned up because I'll be the first to admit there's a lot of dead air of me just kind of slack-jawed, you know, not believing what I'm hearing, trying to process all the lies, and that doesn't make for riveting content, does it? So I'm going to have one of my extremely talented editors just kind of tighten it up. Just the highlights, please. Just the highlights. Of me reacting the most, but god fucking damn it, I don't ever want to do that again. That sucked. That was very painful. Man, that was I feel unclean. I feel unclean. I am unclean. These pits don't just happen. All right, my god, fucking awful. By the way, see pinned in chat, there's a cute little message. It says, come back Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific for Beat the Chat. Beat the Chat's a much more high-spirited and much more fun-spirited game show that I am trying to do weekly now. Beat the Chat. It's fun. It's like Yai Live. But we have like real people come up on a little virtual stage, real competitors, and they all compete against not just each other, but you, the Twitch chat. You're a player. And it's very hard to beat the Twitch chat because you guys usually have the best answers for my various questions and prompts. So tune in, 6 p.m. right here, Beat the Chat. Also, I think I'll be streaming tomorrow as well. I'm going to try, I got a bunch of Yais to film this week, so I'm going to stream one, maybe 2 Yais. Not sure which one or ones I'm going to do yet, but come back tomorrow around the same time, maybe a little later for a Yai stream tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we got Beat the Chat. And Thursday, I might even do another Yai stream. And then Friday, I'm going to do Jackass. Yeah, I'll be streaming. I think I'll be streaming every night this week, which doesn't happen terribly often. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, can we get Jarvis, you've been working so hard. Thank you. And also, huge shout out to Jarvis for pretty much running this whole show tonight. Thank you very much, Jarvis. Jarvis, I would just like to ask one more thing. Could we get ReactBot on the scene? I want to hear ReactBot's thoughts on tonight's abysmal conversation. Just glaze sesh. I'm curious as to what ReactBot has to add here. Because a lot of people have been they yearn for the ReactBot. What are your thoughts, good sir, on tonight's Circle Jerk? He's thinking. He's thinking. He's got a lot in his mind. Maybe not. Maybe there's nothing on his mind. Maybe he has nothing to say. That's fine. Sometimes ReactBot gets a little shy. I mean, nope.
They went full send. Never go full send. They went full send.
That was beautiful. They did, though. They did go full send. Thank you, ReactBot. You always know just what to say. Thank you. And thank you, Jarvis, for queuing him up. That was real as hell. All right. I'm going to stop recording. It's time to raid. Let's raid someone after that hideous sesh. Good Lord. We gotta raid someone that won't make me want to scream and vomit and mauled even more. Who are you guys thinking? Who are you thinking? Who's alive right now that doesn't suck? Bunch of people who don't suck. Seer, I do like Seer. Germa's good too. Asai. Ethan. Oh man, a lot of good people. Some peeps in Stage Light. Who on Stage Light? Who on, let's see. Oh, is Retrora live? Retrora is live. You know what? I'm going to raid someone that you guys aren't expecting. It's Retrora. What are they doing? Wait, are they even there? Uh-oh. Well, hold on. Oh, Retrora hasn't been on Stage Light? Uh-oh. All right. All right, not this time, Retrora. We'll raid someone else. We'll raid someone else. All right. How about Seer? Seer's just chatting. I like Seer. He's fun. Let's do Seer. Let's do Seer. He's a funny guy. Go ahead and give my love to Seer. Tell him I said hey. Gamers, I'll see you tomorrow for another stream. And then I'll see you Wednesday for another stream. I'll see you Thursday and Friday. Streams all week, by the way. Streams all week. Alrighty. Thanks for joining us. This was hell. This fucking sucks. I promise, though, when we do bring back bingo in a more recurring trend, in a more frequent manner, it won't be this cringy. I promise. We got big plans for bingo. Bye-bye. Okie dokie. Okay, bye, everyone. Thank you.